Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast, is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Salutations, everybody. It is Matty here today. Welcome to episode 263 of Defining Duke, an Xbox podcast. Today, I'm joined by Commander Cog himself. How are you doing today, good sir?
Commander Cog, and I approve this message.
Yeah.
I approve this message. Yeah, we here, man. So, yeah, a lot of things going on. The perfect guy. See, Health is Wealth is on the docket, so I think I might as well.
Yeah, we got a lot of Health is Wealth this week, for sure.
Yeah, I might as well come clean with my situation. So,
all right.
Yeah, we talked obviously prior to the cast. It's funny, it's ironic because remember we had a write-in last week, and someone was talking about, Cog, that's dope. You're doing the colonoscopy, or it was either a write-in or someone messaged me directly. It was like, not only did they do that, when they did theirs, they removed polyps or something, and they caught something early.
I think that was a comment. Yeah.
Oh, it was a comment. Okay, I'm not bugging. Yeah. I thought it was Realm of the Dukes did say something. Somebody wrote in.
Yeah.
So your boy is now lining up all his doctor's appointments. 2026 Health is Wealth is about the Health is Wealth medical doctor journey. We get everything straightened out.
The reconstruction of Shepard in the beginning of Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2.
Put back together. Iron Man's getting put back together.
There we go. So I got the best doctors from Cerberus. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing it up. You know what I'm saying? So
Lucid Man's not looking over. He's like, make sure.
Lucid Man trying to do things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right. So I went obviously to the, for my colonoscopy doctor. And I'm like, it's been a minute. Your boy is of age. It's time. They were like, yep, you're right. So then before they could do it, they was like, we got to take a look. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? So they take a look. They was like, are you like in pain or having something? I'm like, no. But I said, I do know, as a person who suffers from diverticulitis, whenever I eat bad, if I go through a bad binge, right? Let's say I'm like junk food. Let's say I do that for like a week and a half, right?
Yeah.
Well, people with diverticulitis, if every time you go for number 2, you look in the stool, you'll see a little bit of blood.
Yeah.
Because that's because of the diverticulitis. It inflames. It's in the intestine when you're going through a situation. So I assumed, I was like, well, maybe that's what was happening when I had that. Because I noticed I kept seeing it. Because, you go to Barry, now you're looking like, what's going on down there with the homies? Why y'all got this red streak? You know what I'm saying? Was why y'all wearing red flags all of a sudden. Y'all wasn't doing this before. So I'm like, all right. Sorry to get graphic over the Dukes, but we being honest, right? So, so I noticed it for a while. I'm like, all right, but I'm eating good. So I said, you want to double down. Super eating good. You know what I'm saying? Fiber, water, just nothing crazy. Still, man, come outside with the bandana every time I drop a dose. I'm like, oh man. So I'm like, I had to come clean to the colonoscopy guy. I was like, look, I do see that. So he's like, well, look, we saw a little something. We don't think it's the big C or anything, but it could be like a small abscess or something like that. But you cannot have the colonoscopy until we remove that. So I'm like, all right, cool. Thinking it's nothing. Leave the office. So I'm calling. They're like, yeah, we called your doctor. And mind you, I went Tuesday. They're like, called your doctor. Yeah, surgery's Thursday. What? So now I'm scrapped, bro. I've been all over the place. So it's just been getting the approval. And the reason why they're excellent. I've dealt with this hospital before. Super high rated. First of all, always go to a hospital in a bougie area. Word of advice.
Yeah.
The neighborhood and the area where you go. There's a reflection, and also do your research on the doctors and who these guys are good. So basically they were like, look, their surgery schedule is so booked. They had an opening. They say, if you don't do it tomorrow, you might not be able to get this done in like a month. And I'm like, oh. So that's what it is. So send me some Health is Wealth love as I go in there, and me and Matty had the joke before. I was like, he's like, yo, they put you out? I was like, yeah, they put you out. They have their way with you. You're theirs. Until you wake up. You can't tell nobody what they did. But But it's a same day procedure. It's about an hour from what I was told. And so as of recording, I would be honest, I was trying to put it off, Matty. I ain't gonna hold you. I was like, I want to wait till after the developer direct. I want to see Fable though. Like, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, be dealing with anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But look, we got to do what we got to do. So send me some. Rubber Dukes need some healing energy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we take care. We try to stay in front of this thing. So we see what's
100%, up. 100%. Well, I'll be thinking of you, and it'll go smooth, no doubt about it. But, just it's good you're taking care. Motivates the Dukes listening to take care of whatever issues are lingering for them, right? Yeah. And being proactive. That's the thing, right? That's what, I forgot what the statistic was, but doctors say like the proactivity is the biggest difference maker.
It's the big thing.
Like it just, you catch anything early, it's like, it just cuts you at least in half, right? Like
facts, 100%. One last thing before we move on. I'm glad you said that because especially men, early detection, right? With the big C, that's a huge thing, especially when you're in your 40s. And then on my side, the reason why I said, you know what? Stop your BS and get it done because the men on my mom's side have passed from that. And I mean, not all of them, but I got the tough men on my mom's side. Yeah. Who they don't, and the doctors be like, yo, and it's too late. They don't want to do anything. And they just like, we just got to rock out. And it's just like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that. So once you get to that age, take care of business and be proactive.
100%. Well said. Mm-hmm. Cog, let's follow up with our community here from everything to health is wealth to a little bit of a comment from last week's conversation about AI playing games for you. This one was interesting. It's from Bobby C. He says, Happy New Year's, Dukes. Enjoyed last week's episode quite a bit. And I actually have an example of AI being used in a game. Injustice 2 had an AI feature which allowed you to program a computer and it would do the grind for you. It was useful, but I had it playing in the background while playing Mario Odyssey a lot, hoping it would get my Catwoman gear that I needed so I could get a very rare achievement. A lot of my Injustice 2 time was just that, and I don't look back at that game fondly. I do think if AI is playing for you, becomes a feature, then it should void the achievements. I just wanted to share and thank you for the amazing weekly show. I'm with Bobby, man. Like Injustice 2 was like so unremarkable is how I would define it. Like the first one was great. I really love the story, the roster. I felt like we're breaking new ground, the environment interactions. Like I felt like it earned its place, but Injustice 2 just existed. There's a lot. I like NetherRealm fighters a lot, but I also kind of define them as the Call of Duty of fighting, right? Like they get the high profile, big budget feel, and that attention is garnered. And no doubt it's got like a competitive scene and everything like that, but I feel like it gets that surge, it gets ramped up like nothing else. But for me, they never, only a couple I can think of hit. Like I was so excited for Mortal Kombat 1, bro. I was done with that game in like 5 hours. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. Mortal Kombat 11, I love. 10, did not like. Mortal Kombat 9, awesome. Injustice 1, awesome. Injustice 2 did not hit. Although I always remember, I have a picture of me in it. Injustice 2 had a sick pre-order gift at GameStop of all places. Really? I got a whole on Injustice 2 jersey. It was sick. Yeah. Very,
football,
very cool.
Basketball, what style jersey?
It was more like hockey? A football style. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I'm thinking like soccer, football.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it was really cool. But otherwise, like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that these stars align here. Let the game play for you. Remarkable. I mean, come on, man. This isn't just a little oops, that just happened. This is
this is charting new ground, and the fact that they're thinking about it is interesting. But I feel his point about voiding achievements. I've always kind of leaned that way. It's just that what happens now is that we're in such a, let's be honest, accessibility community feature set era. So what happens is they don't want to avoid it. If you notice now, most games, I'm from the era where most games where you'll get achievements based on difficulty, right? It'll be like hard, you get more achievement if you do it on extra hard or whatever. So I'm noticing just finishing will now count as achievement. There's no separation. Yeah. I know the gaming ego of me misses the old days where it's like, yo, reward that person for that. But it's just like, it's a slippery slope because I got to be careful. Obviously, I want more people playing video games. Yes. And I've had this debate, a very good debate with Steve Saylor, who's part of the accessibility community, and my own Cerebral Paul, who's down with LawsGaming.net. These are supreme advocates, and they really give me the other side for balance, right? And my only argument that I push back on them. They totally understood what I said. Look, I'm with you. As far as like, more people getting to play. My only thing is I'm always going to fight for developer intent. So I said, well, what if a developer wants to make a very difficult game, right? So that is this whole part of his design process, right? And, are we telling that developer, yo, you can't do that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's where I struggle. That's the gray area for me because I always want to preserve, the intent of the developer. So that's how I look at this whole, the AI, the playing game for you and this and that. It gets interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Because mask for that type of feature, I think. Like I don't. Yeah, that's how I read it. Like I don't know if I get certain accessibility features, of course, but like things like play the game for you, I'm just like, no, it's not. Like they're going to use it as the reason, but like, I'm sorry, but no, it's not a TV show, dude. I mean, the problem I have is that gaming is the only medium where everything has to be for everyone, and I'm like, that's just not sustainable, feasible, and I get it. It's not anti-accessibility, but it's like, dude, there's a line. Every industry has that line, unfortunately or fortunately. Like there are developers who care about that, but it's like that's not what they want to make. That's all there is to it. But I think it's the one industry that tries to bend over backwards in every instance it can. And I think there's certain genres that it's like, turn-based, like it's kind of expected, like, the combat's slower and you can take it at your own pace. But, there's other ones like you mentioned from Software where it's like, that's not for everyone,
That's how I feel.
And that's just how it is. That's how you get unique visions. Whereas there's other companies like Naughty Dog that I think have a phenomenal accessibility department, and you can just look at all the settings in Last of Us Part 2. It's like, there's plenty of developers who I think take care of that community, which is great. So, it's definitely going to be a fun line to walk here as that feature online
starts to incorporate. We saw the patent, we saw, and I forgot about the Injustice 2 thing. So this is something to monitor because, especially with the way the industry is, they're going to try to push these initiatives in, and we're going to see how far it goes.
Yeah. Let's get into a little health as well. The Rook speaks, and we're not talking about, the Rook as in Dragon Age Veilguard. We're talking about the Iron Rook. He is right in here. Says, Happy New Year, Dukes. For the aspiring, healthy, and wealthy looking for high ROI changes to make in 2026, join me in taking a brisk 10 to 15 minute walk after every meal. Inside, outside, doesn't matter. Just make sure it's brisk and continuous for 10 to 15 minutes each time, and make sure you're doing so safely. This is a laundry list of health and fitness benefits, but to keep this from getting too long, pop into the LSM Discord's fitness channel or ILP's Health is Wealth channel to not paywall this discussion, and I'd be happy to sell it further. This is one of the highest ROI things you can do for your health and fitness. It's healthy, but it's not an Xbox kind of day. Shout out to the Rook. It's funny. I wanted to reach out to him because my next phase and where my head's at with my health is asking and welcoming in help. I usually do it on my own. I don't think it's like a pride thing, but I usually don't go to the professionals because in my head, I need to be ready for that. Like I need to get some type of schedule in or some type of diet in specifically. The ball's got to be rolling. And I just end up, once I get that ball rolling, I just try to handle it myself. But I've always wondered if like I could get to where my body wants to be if I take someone like his advice in and just ask you more questions as well. Because I think that's where I'm at right now. It's like, I think, especially dieting, I think that's something that I'm good at. Like I have good discipline, but I don't think I know how to lose weight. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like I know some people are like, cut calories, bro. And I'm like, yeah, I get that. But I'm realizing as I put on weight, I'm like, oh, this is more challenging than I'm walking every day. I'm trying to get my exercise in. I'm trying to eat right. Is it because I ate like one wrong thing during the day? Like, what am I missing here? Like, I think I need to re-educate myself. So I'm getting back to school on this. Cog, you'll be hearing from me. Rook, if you're interested, you'll be hearing from me. But just wanted to share this. Just wanted to share this. Good.
Yeah, Rook's been looking out, and he mentioned this to me after he listened to Duke last week in reference to my sweet tooth, kind of, looking at blood sugar levels and things like that. Make sure that you're not at that high end level. So I'm working on it. This is something he did mention specifically. It's difficult for me because after a meal, I'm just like, I'm chilling, you know what I'm saying? But, I'm trying to implement it and see whatever we could do, especially as a person who does not like cardio. So we're going to work on these things, man. All this is on the internet to help us well 2026.
Maintenance. Well, Cog, how about kids? Ryan writes in, he says, hey, Brickwall, Matty, and fraudulent son Cog, I've got a Health is Wealth right in for you. And this is my first one This is a long setup, but it's absolutely worth it. So please forgive me. I'm in my early 30s, and in the past couple of years, I've finally grown up enough to figure out what I want most in life, and that is to be a husband and a father. I've been happily married for 2 years now, and in those years, I've grown to become the man I'm meant to be. My wife had a daughter from a previous marriage, and we've been together for 10 years now, so I've helped raise her almost her entire life at this point. Being a stepfather has been a joy I struggle to find the words to describe. With all that being said, my wife just told me that we're having a baby, and Dukes, I could have cried, or I cried grown man tears like you wouldn't believe, but I've not had an ounce of shame about it. I'm a father, and it's been about 4 weeks since we found out, and I find myself on a new journey of growth. I'm filled with this overwhelming urge to take care of my wife now, as well as our growing child inside of her. I could go on, but let me finally get to the point in case anyone actually reads all of this. For everyone, but for everyone, but I feel males in particular date with the intention to marry. I wasted so many of my young years dating casually because I thought that's just what you do. But now I'm over 30 and figuring out I was an idiot. I've never been more fulfilled, valuable, and happy than I am as a married man with a child on the way. Either way, thanks for all the focus on health is wealth in all sorts of ways, and have an awesome day, Dukes. And thank you, Ryan, for writing in. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Love that.
Congrats.
Born to be a dad, man. This guy's fucking hyped to be a dad. I love it.
Yeah, he's ready. He's like visualizing. I love it, man. Now that's super dope. Salute to him. And then obviously, salute to him on raising a child, before, being a stepfather. That's super level right there. And then obviously what he mentioned about the intention to marry. I think with dudes, that is fair. I think that we struggle with
operate. Listen, in the gaming space, you gooners. We know what you're thinking.
We know.
Romance bros.
Wrong. Talk to him, man. Again.
He's trying to get your rocks off now. Come on.
You know what they're trying to do.
Look, I was 20 once. Come on, I know. Let's stick with the other head, guys. Come on.
It's true. It's true. What it is dudes be afraid, and I'm guilty of this. I had this happen before in the past. What dudes be afraid to they shoot the shot, put their heart out there because no one wants the rejection. That's what it is. So you got to put the flag. See, my thing is, if I'm gonna put the flag, I'll put it down and let the chips be, where they go, and that it is what it is. If it's a no, it's a no, and it's cool. But at least I know where it's at. So now I can operate. I can get over the hurt and then move on. But yeah, I like what he said on that because that's real talk. That's real talk. I think that's all it is with a lot of dudes, to be honest with you.
Yeah, 100%. Dating with the intent to marry, I know some people will roll their eyes at it, but it really is so important to just be looking for your forever person. Because I got caught in that cycle too. Like when I was in my early 20s, where you're just kind of like floating, hoping something works out. When you kind of like lock in and you're like, I'm serious, bro. You put a filter on people, and like that's you just the vision becomes clear. It doesn't mean that your wife falls right into your hands or your husband or whoever, but it does make it a lot easier, because you don't got to deal with a lot of bullshit. So good advice here from Ryan. And Ryan, congratulations again. All right. Next one here is from Shorter of Breath and One Day Closer to Death. And he writes, health is wealth. Help me, Dukes. You're my only hope. So let me preface that I'm 36, 6 foot, 190 pounds. I drive 10 hours a day for work. And I've always been fairly fit. I used to be in the gym quite a bit, but as the years roll on, I'm doing less and less. And a gut is forming. So my question to you is, how can I find the motivation to make that first jump back into it? I spend my day working and thinking, yes, today's the day I'm getting back to it. Then I finish work and I don't have it in me. So send help. Love you guys. Keep up the good work. Cog, I want to hear from you on this one because you've talked about your discipline. I feel like every week you're like, yeah, I've somehow been like keeping it up. It's like I'm really dedicated, but that's been the standard for you for months and months, now years really. But like, how do you motivate yourself after the day's done, or were you just talking about like a whole medical thing? Like that's floating over your head. How do you not indulge and just say like, I need to go put in the work?
I think we have enough examples of people we know or just, whether it be friends or industry people who we are losing. And I'm noticing like, as we're getting older, bro, like that should be your wake up call. You know what I'm saying? Like you're starting to see these things, whether it means just getting checked out. But as far as the motivation to the gym, that's how I internalize it. I process it like, yo, I'm older. I want to be around. As a person who fears death, I don't like that. I don't be in death for the homies. I don't have no, like, there's people I know that like, yo, if it happened, it happened. So not me. I'm like, no. So we gonna fight.
Next time.
Exactly. We gonna fight as best as we can. So that's my motivation. I'm like, look, I'm lazy right now. Yeah, I can sit here in front of this TV, play a couple more levels. And I look and I go, wait, you could drive to that gym right now, get on that treadmill, do all you can lift, you can do something. You know what I'm saying? And again, it goes back to that earning the right to game. It's very tempting for status quo. I admit, like it's hard. Like you sit there and you will think of every excuse. I go tomorrow. I'm tired right now. Nah, fam. Get the clothes set out. What I usually do is I kind of put mental pressure on myself. The clothes are set out. The gym stuff is cut out. The protein shake is made. Saying the water. Everything's ready to go so that when it's time, or that's another thing. There's no procrastination
over it. It's right there. Yeah.
It's right there. Boom. You did it already the day before. So that's another advice I would say. Another gym is like have everything lined up. Set your gym clothes out. Have everything ready, bro, and you're ready to go and just get it knocked out. So I like that you're recognizing it. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, 10 hours a day for driving for work.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I admit it's going to be a challenge for you with that specific part, but also think about it like this. Every time you are stationary, that's why I even have it on my smartwatch. Yo, get up, move. I have notifications. Like you've been stationary, you've been sedentary too long, kind of thing. And that's what you got to be careful because that's how bad things can happen. So you got to fight for your health, brother. You have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I would also say my advice to someone who's trying to work back into it and trying to learn more, I would only throw out there to think of efficient workout methods, as in, I call them like the secret workouts, right? Like I've not used it before, but I've seen, for example, for people who sit at their desk a lot, like there's a little thing you can put under your desk and it's like almost a little bike pedal. And it's just like you get blood moving a little bit. There's under desk treadmills is something I've used for a while. I had it back in my old office space. And when I was working, I would just walk on that treadmill. And the way I define this as efficient is what I would do because my office was right now. Dude, what life was so good. It was right next to the gym. So you leave, walk across the street. It's right there. But what I would do is as I'm getting ready to wrap up for my work, I know, by the way, you're driving, so this isn't possible. But on the days where maybe it is, I'd be walking at my desk, finishing up my work. So my warm up for my weightlifting was done. And then I would get into the gym and just, I'd be all stretched out. I'd be good to go. Like I'm warmed up. And I felt like I was kind of two birds, one stoning it, which felt nice. I was also getting that movement in after, sitting, working most of the day. So keep those types of efficiency tactics in mind. You might have to get creative with your schedule. I don't know if you have a break in your day, like a midday 1 hour break. If there's something you can do, sounds like you're a truck driver of some kind. Like if there's something you could do during lunchtime, especially if you're trying to lose weight, then maybe like that factors into like eating a little bit less because you're taking that time in the middle of the day to work out. I don't want to overstep with some of the advice because I'm still figuring out some of this myself again. But I would just incentivize creativity with a busy schedule because I can certainly relate to that part. And I mean, this in a lot of ways is me. It's like, like I busted my ass all day and I just want to like stretch my legs because to me, even that 1 hour, it's like, then I got to get the shake afterwards and I got to do this and I got to do that. And it's really an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour process. And that's where like revenge time procrastination kicks in. And I want to do something for quote me. Maybe changing the mindset, trying to think about it more as like, this is me time. Those little things I think will get you there. But hopefully this helps, right? Just a little shot in the arm and a little bit of creative thinking on how to get in there. Yeah.
And last point, treat yourself as far as the things to help motivate you to get there. I'll always talk about that, fly workout shirt or a short set or like, hey, I got me these cool like new earbuds. I can't wait to listen to music and jam out when I go. Reward yourself for the thing that you're about to do while you're there. That helps me. I could just talk about personal motivation. I'm like, yo, I can't wait. That kind of stuff. So yeah, we enjoyed the journey, man. I appreciate you sharing the Robert.
Absolutely. It's a new year, and that means it's a time for a new business. That's why I'm here to talk to you about Shopify. You know, Matty, I'm always starting new businesses. You might see a new one this year, in fact. And look, don't let February arrive with the same old story of like, oh my God, it's already a new month. I'll do that new idea whenever. Get started now, because Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person, with millions of entrepreneurs have already started to make this leap from household names to first-time businesses. Owners are just getting started. And that's why I love to use Shopify, because it gives you all the tools to build that dream store. You can choose from hundreds of beautiful templates that you can customize to match your brand. And it setups really fast with Shopify's built-in AI tools that write product descriptions and headlines to help you edit product photos. So you can just get a placeholder in there right away and then edit it with your own two hands afterwards, but just making sure that site, that store is built for you. And the marketing is built in too. You can create email and social campaigns that reach your customers wherever they scroll. And as you grow, Shopify is going to grow with you, so you can handle more orders, expand to new markets, and just build your business while staying small and local with the people that you work with. So in 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling at shopify.com/Duke. Go to shopify.com/Duke. That's shopify.com/Duke. Hear your first for this new year with Shopify by your side. Let's transition into gaming here. All right, this first one, Cog, is a question for me. It's from Weston J. He says, "Hey, Dukes, this question's for Matty. With your video on your channel about basically having a eulogy to what BioWare and Bethesda used to be, I have to ask Matty, would you still want to interview Todd Howard again, like you did? And what questions would you want to ask him since the last time? You seem pretty heartbroken in the video, and I cannot say I blame you. I think a lot of people would share the same sentiment. Just wondering what you would ask him if there were no restrictions. Thanks, gentlemen. I hope you both have a health is wealth kind of day." And I mean, to be clear, on the first interview, there was no restrictions, but it's so funny how when I interviewed him in 2024 versus now, it's like I would have a whole completely different approach and set of questions. The answer is absolutely yes. I don't know if Bethesda would let me. You know, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if they're interested in having me in the building, so to speak, after just, you know, it's been a good year of kind of like up, you know, we were trending up after Shattered Space, like, all right, it's a one-off. Here comes Oblivion Remaster. It's all right. You know, like, it's a great game. Of course, it's Oblivion, but, you know, the support afterwards wasn't great. And from there, kind of downhill with things like Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, right? And when you have that inconsistency in an output of quality, that changes everything in the conversation. Like, I would ask him, what's going on? Like, why has this become okay? And not just like, you know, I think I don't mean this is in a parasocial way, like he's my friend, I know him, but like, I think from all the interviews I've listened to and the talking I have done with him, like, Todd would be like, yeah, we need to be better. But it's like, okay, how? You know, these are questions that I would, you know, I've asked people in my recent interviews at the end of last year, was just kind of like getting into that nitty gritty area of not taking like the surface level answer, but really like diving that layer deeper and being like, okay, like when Ken tells me about how they're using AI and it's like, yeah, we use like a personalized Gemini model. It's like, okay, I think a lot of people would accept that. Like, this is how they're using AI, but it's like, how do you use it? He's like, oh, data management and like our wiki, and you can ask questions and that sort of thing. It's like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, you know, I would say it's in Bethesda's best interest, if whether it's with me or someone else, even doesn't matter who, to have a kind of tell-all style interview. I think that's what a lot of people are looking for, because while if you take a scroll on the internet, there's like zero positive sentiment found around Bethesda right now, and it couldn't come at a worse time, right? Elder Scrolls 6 is up next. When you look at the reception to my interview in particular, and you read those comments, there's a lot of people who were celebrating me, and that was very kind of people to do. But a lot of those messages were for Todd, and they were like, dude, thank you for making your games. Thank you for changing my life. Like, it was a lot. There's a lot of love for Bethesda. And the problem with what's happened recently over these past now 2 years is that Bethesda has lost people like me. And that's something that was not fathomable at a prior time. Like, we were off of Starfield and leading into Shattered Space when I interviewed him, right? Like, we had turned the page on a new IP that was good, not great, but otherwise, like, you know, okay, like, let's see how they pick themselves up, which what was supposed to be like a Far Harbor for Starfield. Obviously that ended up not really being the case. But I think a tell-all style interview, as in not like Todd sitting down and fucking crying his eyes out and being like, this is why, we crunched this guy and this dude didn't know what he was doing. Like, I don't mean tell all like that, but I mean like just a transparent assessment and honesty, like just why are your creation prices out of hand? You told me when I interviewed you, like, we're going to look at that, and your creation prices are still whack. Are you just talking to me, or are you actually doing something meaningful here? It would, I don't want to say it like in an angry way, but it would be a tougher interview for him for sure, because it's like, I don't have any like, what's next? Because to me, it's like, you got to clean up the kitchen first before you start really cooking. And so I would love nothing more than interview him, because as a lifelong fan, I have an abundance of questions to ask. It's just really, we are unfortunately in an industry where I don't know if Bethesda looks at my videos and they go like, yeah, dude, why would we do this? And I'm like, well, if not me, someone else is going to ask those questions. You'd rather, my argument for myself would always be, let me ask, because I know the type of shit you guys do and make it. I'm heavily informed on that. And it would come across a lot more genuine than if IGN fucking asked these same questions, with all due respect. But that's why that interview garnered over 500,000 people tuning in, because it was a one-on-one with someone not in the media. So I hope he does it. It's certainly something I've pitched, no doubt about it, but we'll see. But I would absolutely do it. And it would definitely be a more like tell all.
No, I agree. And I think it would be beneficial, because at the end of the day, it's like, I consider you in corporate terms a SME, a SME, which is like a subject matter expert. And you have this very
Never heard that term.
you are definitely a SME, and for sure. When it comes to certain pockets, obviously Fallout, but that's the games in as a whole, right? And RPG and questing and level design and things of that nature. You understand, why your connection to these games are that strong, right? So now it's a matter of, like you said prior, like, how can we I think these are the more beneficial interviews for corporations. I always respect when someone comes in there and they allow someone to interview them, right? Who, for the most part is not, obviously no one's going to be disrespectful. That's not the thing, right? But is going to challenge and ask a deeper layer question, and not just take the surface level stuff and say, okay, well, why did that happen? Why did this failure? What went wrong? And a lot of times in my experience, I'm just be honest with you, just to paint a picture, not saying that they will never happen for you, but in my experience as a person who's done a lot of interviews, that type of interview happens most likely when the person has left the company or has retired, because there's a level of transparency and there's a level of PR not going to, because a lot of the times it's not the developer who don't want to say anything to you. It's everything around, right? Yeah. And they have to protect that person. So you're not going to get everything that you want. And I get it. So that's just my thing. I hope, though, to be honest with you, that you could get like a part 2, kind of thing. And I love that stuff. The closest I came to anything like that was probably like with Jason Ronald. And I used to kind of do, state of Xbox, like what's going on? Why is the Series S, or, what's going on with and we would have him on ILP and he would break down stuff. And I was like, okay, this is extremely helpful, because it helped me. Because I'm like, look, why is this 60? Why is that 30? Like, is it this? All that stuff helps. When me and Addict talked about that, a lot of time companies don't do themselves any favor, because they may have legitimate answers that would really quell a mess. You're not going to quell everybody. There's always going to be people who are raving lunatics. Okay, we get that. But for the people who are informed and want to know the nuance, that type of stuff is important.
Yeah. I think another example of something like that would be good. And I think our audience will laugh a little bit when I say this name, but because the Dukes have pushed for it a lot, is Phil Spencer. Like, I do think, I know, because it's a lot of people like the guy who puts his foot in his mouth every interview. Yeah, but to be fair to Xbox in one way, the direction they've gone in has stayed the course. They have gone all the way down the greedy archetype, if you want to call it that. And I wouldn't word it like that speaking to him, but I would definitely be like, you guys have hard pivoted and aggressively gone that way. Like, let's really dive into the why of that, because I think that's what's always missing in gaming discourse is like, so much of it is a shadow operation. We don't see how the meal is made. We just see the meal on our plate. Right. Understanding, it doesn't mean it's always going to be right, because, we're seeing a lot of CEOs nowadays being like, I don't feel like AI. What?
Why don't you love me?
I'm not saying they're going to be in touch and say great things, but a lot of people want to wrap their head around why. Like, why did this, because we have our assessments and our assumptions, and we've seen the reporting, we've seen the behind the scenes stuff, and we managed to put all of that together. But to have someone like him step onto our show where it's like, okay, these are two SMEs, and we sit down and we talk to the head of the SME department, and we're like, okay, and we're like, hey, dude, why are you operating this way? I think that wins more people over than companies give credit for. It's something anytime I pitch an interview to, most don't require any convincing at all, but some do, where I'm just like, you got to understand, and it changes nothing because they're just too corporate, but I'm like, you got to understand, like, I get you're looking vulnerable, and I understand that. I'm not asking, in this case, someone like Phil to do what he did with Kind of Funny and just like step out there and just take the public black eye completely. Like, I think that was a mistake. I respect it.
Like that. You didn't like that?
No, I mean, obviously I liked seeing it, but 2020 hindsight, right? That's how I look at that moment, right? It got so much worse from that point. if we stay the course, like, let's go down this other rabbit hole here. You stay the course, just keep putting out exclusives, indie, and you start getting better. Redfall's like this Crackdown 3 moment where you're like, yeah, man. But like, ultimately in the assessment of an entire generation, not the worst in the world. And to also be fair, a year later, PlayStation flubs the same way in a bigger way with Concord. It's like, okay, y'all are toe to toe now. You both got disastrous flops. So again, hindsight 2020, but the idea of that kind of interview is not what I ever try to get anyone to sign up for, because who in their fucking right mind wants to be like,
wants to deal with that? Yeah,
shoot me up, like,
shoot me up. That's why I do respect it, though. That's all I'm trying to say. I understand it may not.
I respect that he did it completely.
On some grown man, like, you could turn that down. You could turn the fade down and be like, no, and showed up there and gave that. So I'm always going to respect it. But I understand your point with the hindsight 2020. I wanted to be clear with that. But I get what you're saying. Trust me, I do get what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's how at least I think about interviews. It's like, you have to. It's weird when I see like hate comments about people's interviews where it's like, it was a softball interview. I'm like, you can ask tough questions without fucking berating the person.
Correct.
No one ever wants to do an interview with like some aggressive challenger. Like, they're looking for an intelligent conversation, and that's what gets the best answers out. Not like, I'm talking to Phil, I'm like, yeah, but you fucking jacked up the price, idiot. Like, like he said, what's he going to do?
Exactly.
That's not the conversation they're there for. And that's part of it. Part of the reason I got the Todd interview was the trust that I'm a good interviewer. And so they were like, obviously they knew I wasn't going to like pull a fast one and be like, fucking idiot,
Exactly. Like, bro, no, I get it. That's well said. I love what you said.
Yeah. So I guess too long didn't read for you, Weston, is simply that I think when times like this pop up, like, I would love to interview someone at the head of Bethesda, someone at the head of BioWare. Now's the time for talk. Because when y'all are coasting and cruising like CD Projekt Red, like, I can be honest with myself. I've pitched to them like I want to do an interview and they're interested, but it's not like something that's happening. And I'm cool with it because I'm like, well, we're going to talk about the exciting stuff coming up, which they have pretty handled. But when things aren't great is when the conversation, I think, really needs to be there. So
I agree. Yeah.
All right. Well, Cog, let's get into the news in full here. This first one. Man, these first 2 points on our list here piss me off something fierce. I'll tell you what. Just two games in the Xbox community that I can't stand. Avowed is headed to PS5 with its biggest update yet. This releases on February 17th for $50. Beta boys are truly here on the Xbox side of things. I'll tell you what. Premium editions available for $60 on PlayStation. This will net you an art book, digitally speaking, a soundtrack, 2 player armor sets, and 8 companion skins. If you buy the $50 version, you want to throw another $10 at Obsidian, you can get all of that afterwards. Added to this new update, New Game Plus, which adds enemy modifiers to increase the challenge, such as elemental resistance and reduced stun locks. There's a photo mode being added in. You have 3 new playable races in the Aumaua, the Orlan, and the Dwarves. A new weapon type in the Quarterstaff. And you can change your appearance in the Overworld. 2 Todd Howards in a trench coat has the write-in. Says, hello, Dukes. Avowed has been announced for PlayStation 5, and something about it caught my eye. It's a cheaper price by a whopping $20 everywhere. And I'm curious as to your thoughts about it. Do you think it'll sell better at this new price as a value proposition, or has its time on the market as a, quote, disappointment, end quote, become too much for anyone to care about? Can't wait to hear what you think, and thank you for your donation. We appreciate you. Thank you for your donation to Todd Howard's in a trench coat. Cog, you're the resident Avowed expert and lover here, the Avowed SME. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Avowed heading to another platform, its big update, and being 50 buckaroos.
Yeah, that's a surprise. That is a surprise. I didn't see that. Well, obviously, as a resident Avowed SME and defender, all you haters that hate 80 games act like they're the worst. I'm coming for you guys, Matty.
I got thoughts. Don't worry. Keep going.
I know. Listen, I'm from the era, and I've said this before. I think we had a summer side where I think that I'm from the foundational title era, where you have Uncharted 1, but then you have Uncharted 2. Right. And it's I'm from the era where it's like, okay, that game's good. It's solid. It's not amazing. It's not 90 meta, but it's solid. And there's enough here to kind of move and add on and make something great. And that to me is what Avowed is. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it, minus, certain things that need to be fixed, like true choice and consequence. And obviously we had the Kara Patel, shout out to Kara Patel, we actually came into the realm of the Dukes. Absolutely. We learned a lot about the development process. We were like, you was a co-op game. Oh, you was this. Yeah. So the fact that you even stitched this together to be even competent, I'm like, okay, cool. Now back to this. Okay, $50. That's a surprise. Yeah. I'm trying to think. The thought process is, well, one, we like the idea that it's going to PS5 and maybe another platform, because to me, that shows they see value in the IP and they wanted to get it other places. So it's not like we're not seeing Redfall get ported over. You know what I'm saying? Let's put this in perspective. This ain't coming. This is coming. So they see value in it. That's good. That's why I was excited to hear about South of Midnight. I'm like, yes, because these are studios I'm worried. I'm not worried about Obsidian per se, but I'm worried about the performance of the IP if they feel value is there. And we got the pillars thing. So now, look, your argument is strong. You can say, bro, y'all beta tested this, so these dudes can rock out with the finished version, the clean version, the super deluxe extra sauce and extra cheese. Yeah. I get it, you know what I'm saying? But let's be real, you rocked out already, right? You've rocked out. You've had all your thing. Yeah. Most of you did it on Game Pass, right? It's not like you're not getting this content, right? It's just that you're looking down from the side like, man, these dudes just waited. I get that. But you will be fine. Your Big Mac will show up on the same day their Big Mac shows up. It's just that they going to pay $50 for it. Now, that part, again, I've never seen that. So I guess my only theory is just like maybe price evaluation potential with Obsidian. And we've had this conversation. I was on SummerSlam with Brad this week, and we had this conversation about Obsidian. And Brad kind of felt like how he feels now how I used to feel about Obsidian. It's like, yo, I just want them to go all out, make this super big game AAA. And I'm like, Brad, I feel you, but they are who they are, which is the best of the AA. They want to stay in that pocket. So maybe this is Microsoft now reevaluating and saying, hey, let's try this price point, especially for this new audience. And we think maybe this a hit. So that's where I'm at. It's totally unusual. I've never seen anything like this, but I'm actually for it. If the game does well, I feel it's one of those games where it's like, we gonna be waiting forever for Elder Scrolls. Let's just be real, right? This has to be
before Elder Scrolls 6.
There you go. This has the potential to be Skyrim light while you wait. And I think that's a lot. I saw a lot of people, I was chasing a lot of people, man. I know you don't agree with this game, you don't like this game, but a lot of people like, yo, I love it. I just had Carl Antonio from Polygon. He's like, bro, I love it. Like, people love this game. It's just that it has its flaws. He said, yeah. Don't me like that.
No, I'll explain why I have this energy in a little bit. Please keep going.
Okay, I'm almost done. So I'm pretty much done. So that was pretty much it. But yeah, thank you for bringing this to my attention about the price point, because this is uncharted territory. We've never really seen this before. The floor is yours, so I want to hear.
Oh, well, first off, I'm very happy about the price point. I personally wouldn't spend $50 on it, but I think that's much better than what Xbox fans and PC fans were asked to pay for this. I think it's a little bit more in the right area. And And I think some people might make the jump just because of that. And maybe their critiques won't be as strong as others because of that. So I think this is a good price point. Maybe show some lessons learned as well from Outer Worlds 2. That I can only hope, because that was a messy situation. And with all due respect to Avowed and its fans, I don't think there's any reason in the world why Avowed should have had more players on Steam than Outer Worlds 2, given Outer Worlds was already a very successful, established IP, known in a lot of ways as a better game. And I just think a high tide could raise both ships, sure, but like I think again that price point really hurt that game, and maybe this is a lesson learned from that by the Xbox side of things. These updates look solid to me. Doesn't look like anything that would pull me back into a replay. I don't know. That just real quick before I keep going, would that be the case for you as the Avowed guy? Like you were like, I love this game. It's in my top 10, but this is like the big one. You're like, where's my big update? And so like, do you have any feelings that this isn't enough to spark the replay?
As much as I love this game, this ain't enough. It's just not enough. Like if they had told me new quests,
yeah,
obviously, clearly it's not an expansion, but 3 new races, a new weapon, that's not enough for me to go through this world again. You've got to give me another part of the map and something like that. And that's what's going to get me. So the vibe I get is they're ready to go to Avowed 2. A shout out to, Chris Avalon kind of put it out there that, they're working on that. So that was the best inside news I've heard. So to your question, no, this is not enough. This is a repurposing for PlayStation owners.
Yeah. This is for the other guys. All right, cool. Yes. That's what I was thinking too. But yeah, overall, this looks good for those who are particularly interested in this. I think February is where things are starting to really pick up with releases. It's not too crazy in my opinion. Like March is really crazy, but this slots in, funny enough, nicer on this year's February 17th than last year's, where it was right next to KCD 2. So a little less competition as well. So overall, what I was saying earlier, where I was like, I was talking to Locke about it. The only reason Avowed's been on my mind is because Locke just did a full playthrough of the game. And I think Locke dislikes this game far more than I do. He made me look generous, but he thought the writing was worse than Veilguard.
And thought it was worse than what?
Veilguard. And he sent me a video. Because he told me his summon sign segment, so I listened to it because he was talking about how he sent someone a clip, whether he couldn't remember if it was like Brad, Dustin, or me. It was me he sent it to, of the 30-minute conversation he had with this one random fucking NPC where he's like, dude, he said nothing meaningful. Like, it's got like a little time code on it. And it's just the back and forth for 30 minutes. And he can't stand this game. So he's just been like ranting to me about it. And in our exchange on this game, I said, I think I've got what part of the problem is, right? It's really in some, like, I'm talking aftermath now. Like, I think the game is problematic for my own reasons, but it's the aftermath. For some reason, Avowed fans just don't have this social awareness when they approach you about their game. They're like, it's great, right? And it's like they're inviting me to like deck them and be like, well, I don't think so. And it's just constant, like this always like, I think it's amazing. It's so good. Isn't it the best? Like, I think the writing that Locke got on someone's side was like, it's like the best combat in a fantasy game I've seen. I'm like, what? But this is like this is the hyperbole game, bro. It's a hyperbolic ass game on both ends, to be fair. Like,
true.
There's some moments where like Locke tells me about the Veilguard style, right? I'm like, okay, I see where he's coming from. There's other times I'm like, I don't really think so. And then the other side's like, it's so good, bro. Fuck what people say. I'm like, chill. Let your 7 out of 10 cook right in the middle with all the other 7 out of 10. That's right where it is, bro. But that's what I think. Like, you're like, he's like, man, Matty, people love it. I'm like, I know, because they always talk about it. Like, we like Colin ranks annoying fan bases, right? No one talks about the Avowed base. We always talk about Sonic. We always talk about Sonic. We talk about My Hero. Like, we talk about these very commonly known fan bases. No one talks about the Avowed base. And I think it's time to have a talk with the Avowed base. I'm coming for you guys.
Listen, I'm coming right back for you because y'all messy. Y'all so... I get it. The standards are high. I get it. And look, Locke, after playing KCD, there's nothing we gonna tell Locke. He just played KCD 2, arguably the greatest RPG that we've played in the last decade. I get that. All I'm saying
Lock is very high class, fine cuisine. You know, like that's
here we go.
No, I'm not saying against Avowed. I'm saying that's the type of like he's a great critic. I think like he
I love Locke.
I send him my story stuff all the time because I know amazing. He'll fucking rip it up. It's great, but like I think he just gets it, and so when he gets something bad, the way this man gets
he goes in,
he's funny.
It's funny. I've seen a Locke rant. And it is hilarious. Like I can't take that away. Look, I get it. You know, for me, I will push you out on that combat. Y'all bugging. That combat is fire. But that's neither here nor there.
see, Cog, the Avowed guy, just proved my point, right? He's like, see, the combat is fire, bro. We're gonna leave that there, right? Like,
all right, let's go. We'll do it now. I think the combat is better than Outer Worlds 2. Minus the fact they have this status. I'm going there. Bro, I will fight you on it. Avowed, head to head, there's a lot of things Avowed does better than what you call it, Outer Worlds 2. What it is y'all writing dudes. See, I'm going to call y'all the lore goons and the writing goons. Like, y'all get so, if the story is not 100% perfect, if it's not Baldur's Gate 3 level, oh my God, it's so terrible. I can't play it. That's y'all. See, that's how we feel about y'all. Y'all so snobby, nose in the air. If everything is not this, we refuse to indulge. That's how we look at y'all. And y'all look at us like, yeah, bro, that joint cooked. I get it. It's a weird thing that this game has this kind of emotionality on both sides. So to me, I look at it again, the foundational title, which is like, I'm just so glad that we could get a part 2 so that they could get the writing up to the level and the things that you guys want. And then I think hopefully it'll be. Don't kill these babies before they're born. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not fighting against Avowed babies. I want to see an Avowed ground up single player game with that combat. Everything basically, all the pieces they had were right there, right? It's just, I think from the ground up single player will do them some good if the Outer Worlds 2 is anything to go by. By the way, that was a hilarious rant. I thought that was incredible because I could feel it was bottled up. Like, fuck these Baldur's Gate news. I'm so tired of hearing about writing. Bro, there's even a part of me that gets tired of it too. Like, everyone does want Baldur's Gate 3, and it's like, look, as a Dragon Age 2 fan, not saying it's the best of the series, but like, I get liking the kind of 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 fantasy RPG where everyone's like, fuck this game. And I'm like, come on, guys, come on, really? This guy, you know, I get it in the time period, but long term, this guy, he's fine.
I get it. And in fairness to you, hilarious. It was a bit. And in fairness to you guys, I get it. It's Obsidian. It's got the look. It's got the feel. And now you want the full on. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping, like I said, I'm pulling for them. I'm just so glad they make a part 2. I'm just so glad.
Yeah,
I want to one more shot there.
Take another crack at it. Technically, it warranted its sequel or follow up more than the Outer Worlds 2 did, and that does say something. So, to be fair,
no doubt.
All right. Well, time to beat up on another fan base here. The Forza Bros have collected their biggest win yet. Here we go. Forza Horizon 5's port to PlayStation 5 has passed 5 million sales. That's according to Alinea Analytics analyst Reese Elliott, who's been on Summon Sign before. And that's quite the claim. That's $300 million in revenue for the port. Now, alongside this, is it not embedded in this article here? I'm trying to find the post he had of all the other games that were beside the Forza Horizon 5 port. Because you got like 5 milli. And then I think the next one is like 500K. It reminds me a lot of when PlayStation, and these are estimates, by the way, so of course, take them with a grain of salt, but it reminded me a lot of when PlayStation started doing their PC ports and we saw those numbers leak and you saw like a few million and then like Days Gone 400K or something. I forgot which game it was. I think it was Miles Morales, like 400K. You're like, really? So let me get that list up here. Because what do you make of the Forza Bros collecting a massive win here? So popular, like going over to PlayStation 5, a mere port, 5 million sales. What a moneymaker, for real.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is the crown jewel. This is the de facto when it comes to Xbox Game Studio, anything outside of, ABK, Bethesda, Bethesda has their hits, obviously, with, the Elder Scrolls series, the Fallout series, and ABK, Call of Duty, we already know, and all the other franchises. But with Xbox itself, it's it's clear as day. Like, Forza Horizon is just so massive. I'm still in shock by this. A lot of they laugh at me. Attic and King. I saw this happening a mile away. I guess for me, I said
this many.
Struggle. Yeah, like I guess I am surprised because I look at the PlayStation base and I say, okay, yes, Gran Turismo is the game. It's the hardcore thing. And Forza does provide this different, casual, fun, festival kind of game that's easy to get into graphically, looks amazing. I get why people would like it. I just, in my mind, again, I still go back to that era of you have locked yourself into your ecosystem. So that means you did like that game, but you did not want to buy an Xbox for that game. And that's how I enter. And I'm like, wow, because to me, I'm like, you had many opportunities to play this if you truly wanted it this bad. And that's what it makes me think about ecosystem. And then obviously to your point, though, I think now it comes down to the tier system as far as which ones, they port over. And I feel like anything Xbox ports over at this point, they're taking a bet like, there's a chance that these other other platforms, they will like this. There's an audience for them. Kind of similar like how when we looked at PlayStation, we're like, okay, why would they do that to Helldivers? But we have to admit, like, Xbox is the dude bro, shooter bro kind of box. And even though they have, a smaller base, the majority will play that type of game kind of thing. Right. So it's interesting to see how the other platform views each other, kind of thing.
Yeah. I actually found this chart here. Okay. I put it in our chat. If you scroll down on the Alinea Analytics Substack here, you'll see Forza Horizon 5 is at 5.1 million units sold for its PS5 estimates. Following that up is Gears of War Reloaded, 572K, which we kind of thought was a little bit of a quiet release. I mean, I thought that would be in the milli, not going to lie. That's still kind of low. But 22 million, little napkin math there in revenue, not too bad. But when you have Indiana Jones close behind that at 491K, it's a little surprising, not gonna lie. Microsoft Flight Simulator 166K, and then Hellblade 2 is at 50K. I have thoughts on Hellblade in a little bit here, so I'll stash those. But overall, it looks like we have this very high range of like what it can be if it's the right game, and this low range of like also what it can be if it's not really the right game. Like if they're porting Hellblade 2 over for 50K, what's the expectation for something like South of Midnight? Like what do we think that's going to do over there? Again, I think the most disappointing estimate of all of these still falls to Gears of War. I think. Yeah,
I would.
Not being million, 2 million is, I mean, for the first one, $40.
I agree. I feel that was a disappointment.
Put it out there, marketed, big announcement, let PlayStation lead the charge. Like I think they did all the right things. Flagship IP from the 360 days. Like, what does that say about, like, what does Halo do?
What does that say about, I think it says a lot about what for Gears, as far as a franchise and stuff like that, that it really didn't, appeal to that audience. The thing that surprised me, though, if we go back up the chart, if you look, really second place was Sea of Thieves, because Sea of Thieves is between that 2 million. Again, according to their data, take a grain of salt, we'll see, kind of thing. Yeah. They're between the 2 and 3 million with Sea of Thieves. I was shocked to see it because, again, I thought Sea of Thieves was something that PlayStation fans would not be interested in. It's in multiplayer and stuff like that. So it looks like it's those two. And then as far as the recent ports, the Indiana Jones was a little soft to me. I thought that should be higher, to be honest with you, kind of thing. The others made sense, but the biggest, I agree with you, the biggest surprise as far as the ones that went over that didn't do well was Gears, for sure.
Yeah. Neo JD has it right in here. It says, greetings, Dukes. As COG brought up on Someone's Sign, Forza Horizon 5 has passed 5 million copies sold on PS5. So how long before Xbox does day and date releases on all platforms? Thanks, and have a, we just made $300 million off an old game, but we're still canceling Perfect Dark and giving you Hellblade 3 instead kind of day. Thank you, Neo, for writing in. This has to shape their thinking about things, right? Even if you're compounding it a little bit, like Indiana Jones is a great example, right? Like we don't know how it did on Xbox. Let's give it like 500,000 there and 500,000 on PlayStation. It's like, okay, well, what did that do if it was available everywhere and we had that moment in December with every platform active? What does that do for the game, right? Because everyone gets to be involved. I'm glad it still found a base, but obviously we know, like, up next for, based on Jez Gordon's reports, up next for Machine Games is Wolfenstein 3 and whatever that Rainbow Six style title is. So did that put the game in an area where it's like, oh, with like the licensing fees and whatnot, like maybe it's not worth doing another indie game again, which would be such a shame because just absolutely love that game and would love to see more about it. But you have to imagine their thinking is being shaped by what they're seeing here, which is like day and date has to help them, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we're in the transitional phase. What I could call this is accidental exclusivity. You know, they want to be everywhere. It's just that the studios are in transition with this strategy. I forgot. Indiana Jones is coming to Switch 2 this year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about. So I think from what I hear internally, was it Lucasfilms is the one that helped? Who's the one that had the licenses? Lucas Arts, Lucas whatever. Yeah. They, from what I heard internally, they really liked that this port happened and really would like to do more. That's what I had heard at the time back then. I don't know if anything has changed. So what I would guess is that they're in port mode. Let's get, obviously PlayStation got theirs. Switch, I was definitely happy to see that Switch 2 is getting it. And the fact that Machine Games and Wizards, let's be honest. Like the fact they're going to do that port, that game is a really good game. And the fact that I know, not that the Switch, can't be done at all. You have to compare it to a Series S in a way. But the fact that they're porting over, I think is a really good sign from that studio, from a design standpoint, from a developer standpoint. And then maybe after they get that tail, then maybe we could revisit and get another indie. But for right now, it looks like, based on the rumors that we heard from Jez, that they're looking at the the Wolfenstein and potentially the Rainbow Six Siege kind of multiplayer thing.
Excited for Wolfenstein 3.
Yeah,
no fucking idea, bro. That headline from Pete Hines has lived rent free in my head. I think it was like 2017. He says, we're definitely doing Wolfenstein 3. And I'm like, where is it, man? Wolfenstein is so good outside of Youngblood. So good, man. I want them to finish that story. So I'm glad that all these years later, they're going to finally do it. If we're going to lose indie to anything, let it be Wolfenstein 3.
I ain't mad at that.
All right, Forza Bros, enjoy your W. We'll be back later. Hellblade 3 is the focus right now for Ninja Theory. We have a report from IGN who's quoting our friend Jez Corden of Windows Central, who spoke on the Xbox 2 podcast. IGN writes, a new third Hellblade title is in development at Ninja Theory that will respond to criticism by focusing on being more of a game, according to Windows Central editor Jez Corden speaking on the Xbox 2 podcast. At the same time, Corden said that Ninja Theory was no longer working on Project Mara and a, quote, experimental title, end quote, announced by Microsoft back in 2020. Quote, from what I understand, the next game from Ninja Theory is Hellblade 3, and it's going to be a bit more interactive than Hellblade 1 and 2. I don't know what the exact nature of Hellblade 3 is going to be like, if it's even going to be called Hellblade 3, but it does sound like it's going to be in the Hellblade universe, and it does sound like they want to make more of a game, and broaden the appeal to some degree, end quote. Jez did follow this up by writing on his Twitter account that lots of outlets are misreporting what I said about Xbox and Ninja Theory's Project Mara as usual. He said the game wasn't canceled because it was only ever a concept. It could be developed into a game someday or evolve into something else. And so a lot of people were pointing to the Project Mara Xbox Wire post where they say, today we are announcing Project Mara, our new in development experimental title that explores new ways of storytelling. And we're excited to share the first details with you. Project Mara will be a real world and grounded representation of mental terror based on real lived experience accounts and in-depth research. Our aim is to recreate the horrors of the mind as accurately and realistically as possible. Project Mara will be an experimental title and a showcase of what could become a new storytelling medium. Since joining Xbox Game Studios in 2018, we've been hard at work on our upcoming multiplayer brawler, Bleeding Edge. That's how old this one is. January 22nd, 2020. Our recently announced innovative R&D project, the Insight Project, and of course, Hellblade, Senasaga, Hellblade 2. These projects will continue to drive our development goals for the next few years and will help shape Ninja Theory's vision for our future. You can follow the development journey of all our new projects, such as Senua Saga, the Insight Project, and Project Mara on all of their respective social channels. So I don't know, man. I kind of read this and think it sounds like a game, or it was a game at some point. Experimental title reads like a game to me. But that aside, Cog, what we've got here is Hellblade 3 being the focus. So I'm curious as to your thoughts on what we've got from Jez Corden. You know, we're moving into Hellblade 3, more of a game. We did talk about that last week, but no Project Mara, which I think sounded like a great fit for them, kind of this indie horror style title. So what do you make of all of this? And actually, here, let me read this right in, and then I'll kick it to you.
All right.
Phil writes, "Hey Dukes, looking forward to another Hellblade? This sounds like a threat, right? Not trying to be an ass, but Hellblade 2 is one of the worst conceived ideas I've ever experienced as a video game. Anyone calling it an art piece? How about the art of gameplay design and mechanics? Now the rumor is that it's going to feature more gameplay, and they really are spoiling us now. But do you think the IP has gone on as far as it needs to, and it would just be better to start fresh?" Well, thank you, Phil, for writing in and stating your case. Cog, the floor is yours. What do you think of Hellblade 3, no Project Mara, and what's going on with Ninja Theory?
Surprised, because again, you know, we thought clearly that Hellblade did not do well. Hellblade 2 did not do well at all. We didn't hear any buzz about it, any notions, any numbers, ain't nothing. I still to this day don't know what it did. So I just naturally assume when you are quiet and you don't promote, you don't say, 1,000 people walk down the path of, a million people walk down the path of blah, blah, blah. Like, we didn't hear any of that. So we got the port, right, to PlayStation. We got this 60 frames per second later, no additional content. And look, as much as a person that I recognize and respect that it's a technical tour de force, I totally understand the argument that, it's not much of a gameplay hardcore game. It's just not, you know what I'm saying? So I think my biggest criticism is that just when it was starting to ramp, for me, that I love the El Tiger fight and all this other stuff, it's just like, okay, it's over, and then we don't got no resolution. And I'm like, huh? It felt like you just left me there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on. So that's my thing. Now, to this question, we talked about last, Duke, that clearly they have value as a, mocap studio, as a technical marvel or stuff like that. To me, I was surprised because I thought this lack of success would move them off of Hellblade and then maybe go into one of their other projects. I thought that was the logical thing that was going to happen. Selfishly, as a person who likes Hellblade, I wanted to get this right. I want them to go back to it. I want them to address the stuff that you and Gene were talking about. Like, you had way more gameplay, hardcore movesets and combat in the first one. Let's go back. We don't have to go to this highest level of graphical fidelity. Let's, get back into what a game is and actually tell a story that's more than 46 hours. Say all that's fair criticism. I understand. I'm not going to be biased just because I have a liking to certain aspects of this game. But this is a surprise. I think it's a good sign, though. I think overall it's a good sign because, listen, the two on my radar is Compulsion and Ninja Theory after their first releases as Xbox Game Studio family. They're big releases because this Ninja Theory technically had, the thing about this, Ninja Theory technically had another flop. Bleeding Edge did not do well.
That's true.
Bleeding Edge coming out was farting to win. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I did not, and I'm going to tell you, I did not rock with that game. I know Attic and them liked it. I was like, nope, I don't like this. I don't want nothing to do with this. Keep this away from me. So, I'm like, man, are they in trouble? Yeah, bro, I was not feeling at all. So it was sad as I interviewed her during that time. I believe I forgot to. Oh my gosh, she was so nice. But I just like it's not a game for me. But anyway, with this, this shows me they still see value in it, and I'm hoping they get it right and do the right thing by it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I guess my developed thoughts on the Hellblade 3 combat-focused approach is similar to yours in that I'm a little surprised they're going back to Hellblade. So much so that I'm like, I'm not trying to put my foot in my mouth. I'm like, is this a good choice? Like, of course, I want to see them go back and I love the first Hellblade. And honestly, it wasn't because of like the gameplay stuff. The story just felt so thoughtful. And then it helped that it had a little bit of action to it. I don't know if Ninja Theory ramping up their action significantly, like how that will scale, I guess is what I'm saying. Like how much that meter goes up. Like, are we going to go, when we say more interactive, more gameplay, are we going back to Ninja Theory roots of like DMC, Devil May Cry, where that shit was like a bomb-ass combat system? I don't care what anybody says about that. I will, like how Avowed fans are about their combat system. That's me for DMC. I think, say what you will about the representation of Dante and whatnot, but like, dude, that fucking game's combat kicks ass. And that was Ninja Theory. So are we getting back to that? Because if they're going to that, bro, I'm your number one Hellblade fan. Absolutely. But if we're talking like, well, we're going back to like Hellblade 1, then it's like now that the pressure's still on the storytelling to be great. And one of my critiques of the second Hellblade game was like how much it moved the story forward. So I'll just be curious to see what kind of like how deep they're diving into their gameplay systems, if at all here. But I'm just surprised on a business front with everything going on. They're like, let's do a third Hellblade. Like the first one was a indie darling, like $20, major success, mental health advocate. Like it just did everything. A sequel was a no doubter. Would never argue against that. But the sequel didn't stack up for a lot of players in the ways that they were hoping it would. So are they trying to have a get back? Like if we get it right, like we're going to bring those people in. Or to me, I feel like the moment's kind of passed. Like I feel like there was a lot of attention on Hellblade 2 specifically because this was a game that Xbox like announced their consoles with and felt like it was going to be the bigger kind of God of War style title. Like this is the Xbox game. And as we got closer to launch, I remember there was concerns like, when are they going to talk about it? Why are you burying the marketing for this game? Et cetera, et cetera. So it's just interesting to hear that they are going to go for Hellblade because I think for the tech that they've created and the way they tell their story through audio, they are the perfect horror studio and they just don't realize it. Like how it's like sort of how we thought about Tango after Hi-Fi Rush. Like they were a great horror studio. I love their games. But then they did Hi-Fi Rush and you're like, maybe this is what you were built to make. I think this is what you guys were destined to do. And I wonder if they're getting away from that here. So again, I'm not going to argue either way because to be frank, both projects sound kind of appealing to me. Like I could get down with Hellblade 3 and just see where they go with it. But that has a higher chance of failure for me because I'm just like, I already know you got me out on the second game. But Project Mara also sounded really interesting on that description alone there. So we'll see where they end up. But interesting times for that team. And
for sure.
I'm glad they're just still around. That's all.
Yeah, that's my thing. And that they want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Clearly, it's got to be a joint effort because they want to do it. And then Microsoft's like, yeah, okay, we'll green light it. So I'm like, okay, wow. Okay, that very surprising, I admit. A lot of pressure on them. There's no question, for sure.
Maybe also we were talking about multiplat earlier. Maybe this is where that kicks in a little bit, right? Like this might help. And maybe saying like, well, if we had both platforms and we had like this more marketable type of game that was bigger and more focused, here's what we could have hit instead with our current budget. Like maybe that's how they're going to leverage it. We'll see.
I agree.
This next one's pretty exciting, Cog. The Towerborne is releasing February 26th for $25. This is a game that we saw just a little bit under 2 years ago at the Xbox Summer Gamescom showcase that was in LA. Yes. And we had a chance to talk to some of the Towerborne devs there from Stoic. And at that time, they were doing early access. They were doing something a little bit more Destiny-like. And as the developers of a phenomenal RPG trilogy in Banner Saga, it was a little surprising to see them go in this direction, but they were a studio that I think built such a strong pedigree. Everyone was like, clearly, you know what you're doing here. And what we played in Towerborne, I think was fantastic. Like I really like this game a lot, but I think I'm going to like it a lot more with what they're doing here now. So let's read Cog. Exiting early access is step one. That's what they're doing. So it's in 1.0. This is releasing on PlayStation. It's already out on Xbox. You can also get it on Game Pass if you're interested in what I'm about to read out here. And you can find it on PC. So now we're full multi-plat. What's version 1.0 come with? A complete story with a full narrative arc, a major antagonist, new side quests, and they overhauled the bounty board. There's 2 new bosses that are being added, including a new final boss, plus lieutenants and Umbra enemies. They've reworked the difficulty system and have included a new brutal difficulty to make the game even more tough. They've reworked the world map, which was one of the coolest features of the game. So I'm curious how that looks. Plus, they've added a brand new biome. It's the coastal biome. They've added new gear, player abilities, and a forge system. There's new music by Austin Wintry in this, as well as quality of life enhancements and bug fixes, and all of the cosmetics. So everything that was there that was available for real world money is now unlocked through gameplay. So they specifically wrote no more purchasing them. And plus, they've added in even more new cosmetics for you to grab. They've also added in multiple save slots and the ability to import your character / loot. So this looks great. Like, I mean, I think Absalom kind of woke them up, is my read of the situation. Absalom was a little indie beat 'em up takeover last year, and I think they saw that and went, we got to like get this thing out as a traditional game. And I think this feels more stoic proper than kind of what we were getting before, as in the model in which they're releasing it in. But I'm very excited about this. I don't know if I'll squeeze it in yet. I have my gaming calendar set, but I'm really excited for them because this looks way more appealing than I think what they were doing before. Right price tag. The game already kicked ass. Like, the fucking combat in this game is so good. It's like just the aerial juggles and the combo system and the abilities feels so good, man. I always remember sitting outside. I told you this, but like when I went to the Joe concert in the Bronx and I had my Backbone plugged into my phone, I was playing this on the cloud, bro. This is like one of my rare I'm that dude in the cloud gaming commercial moments, like where I'm smiling at my phone while I'm like playing, the camera zooming in on me. But yeah, this is that game. Like, I just kept like coming back to it, playing it on the go when I could. So just awesome time, great music, great visuals, really fun combat system. I at least want to dip my toe in the pool and check this out, see if it pulls me in, provided my gaming calendar works it out. Because this is right next to one of my most anticipated titles of the year in Resident Evil. So that's the only problem here. But Cog, I've talked up a storm here. Towerborne, $25, February 26th. How are we feeling?
Wow. Fantastic news. Fantastic news. Like, I love this game. Like, we played it, obviously, Gamescom LA. We talked to the devs and they spoke to me because they was, oh yeah, you're a Destiny dude. Like, you're like this, the Belfry's like the tower, this, that, and the third. We got this. So I'm like, all right, they hit my sensibilities, right? But it was like this co-op, beat 'em up, loot, leveling up kind of thing. And I'm like, okay, you're talking to me, but I even have to admit, as a Destiny fan, once it came into game preview, I started to cool only for one reason. And it started to hit me. I'm like, man, this is the perfect handheld on the go beat 'em up as well.
Offline.
And every time I went and put that bad boy in the Ally, and I'm like, I can't play this on a plane. I got to log into the server. And that took away from me playing it consistently. Because I'm like, when I'm in and when I have online access, I love this game and I'm in there playing it. And I'm with you. The combat, the juggling, the art style. First of all, I'm a huge Stoic fan. Banner Saga is goated. Like, so to me, it was shocking to see them go away from the roots of like great storytelling, good narrative, all that stuff that I know them for. This is a complete, I've never seen a game really do this, where they're like, yo, we're taking the monetization out. We're making it offline. We're focused on narrative. And I looked at the developer update on their site. They said the number one requested thing from the community during the preview was that we don't like that it's an online game. That was the number one thing. And they said, we listened to the feedback. We listened to the base. We're removing all that. That's a huge pivot. I've never really seen a game go from a live service game and say, nope, y'all don't want that. We hear you. We're taking live service out. Bro, I am super excited. Give me a linear game now with a story, rich bosses, and I can play this offline all the way. Like, that's what I want. So I'm here, bro. Towerborne just shot back up for me right now. I'm gonna be there, bro. February 26th. I'm gonna be there. And shout out to I remember they had the Sword and Stay Shield. They had the little hunter guy that Addict used to take. He's like the ninja kind of quick class. Yeah. But the class I used to like was the pyro class, the big mallet with the thing, and then burn enemies and shoot fire. It's like a big quarterstaff kind of thing. That was my class, bro. Pyro class was my thing. So yeah, I love Towerborne. This is the best decision. And for 25, they could have easily do 40, and I still wouldn't have been too bad. You know what I'm saying?
40, 30,
yeah, like, oh, I'm there. This is fantastic news.
I agree. Looks really good. So Towerborne, February 26th, pretty much all platforms, $25. Check it out. Really good game from what we've already played, and I think it'll be even better.
I agree.
Here's one. The same week we learned we're going to see Fable. Here comes Fable creator Peter Molyneux, and he's like, I got something for you. You liked Albion? Here's Masters of Albion. And this is considered the culmination of his life's work. And Like, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on Peter, but I am believing some level of sincerity here. Whether the game delivers or not, I believe his sincerity, and I do believe his regrets, and I do believe that he's trying to at least make a great game and kind of get some. I think this is personal. I think it's like he wants peace to some extent. I don't think people will stop ragging on him or making their jokes, but I think this is for him in a lot of ways. And Masters of Albion now has a release date. And it's April 22nd, 2026. And I looked at the trailer, man, and I got to say, I think this game does look good. I don't know if it'll turn out great. I have not paid attention to all Peter's comments. And if what he's built it up to is this God game is if it's stacking up that way, I'm just going as someone who was, release date, trailer. I'll do my research in a little bit here as we get closer to launch. I think the game looks really fun. It's got that whimsical Fable kind of nature to it. But I really love the whole taking control of like any NPC. The game it reminds me of, I'm about to make a deep Xbox cut here.
Talk to me.
Project Spark. Do you remember this thing?
Wow, yes.
Yeah. I remember Project Spark opening my brain and it didn't deliver that way. I remember I got it as a gift for Christmas from my mom. And I remember playing it and be like, man, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. But I remember that game when I saw it and they were like, create your own game. And like, look at all these games that this game can make. I totally bit onto that. That's not what Masters of Albion's doing, but the way that it lets you like do the whole town management, but also taking control of these characters and turning into like an action RPG and bringing that camera in. I think there's like a sense of, whoa, this game's got some serious potential here. So I think it looks pretty nice. April's not a super busy month. Where I might be able to make some time to check it out. I think this is early access, which many of you know my golden rule on early access, which is I'll see you at 1.0. Okay. But definitely one I want to keep my eye on here. And I wanted to get your thoughts, Cog. I mean, we're going to see Fable this coming week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But here comes a little Fable-like to contest the green team. How are we feeling?
The OG got one more in him. We got one more in him, right? Look, man, the history of Peter Molyneux and let's give him his flowers as far as the Fable creator and introducing that to the world. I actually familiar with him before that. And what Masters of Albion is giving me, it's giving me Populous. Populous was an OG game that he was behind. I believe it was EA at the time. And I played this game, and it was a godlike simulator game. And you controlled a lot for its time. And I thought it was very innovative. So that's his lane, the godlike game you control. Yeah. This feels like Populous 2.0, and you're controlling Albion and doing all this stuff with the NPCs and stuff like that. So the premise is there. He's usually good about that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, we know the history. We know the over-promising and under-delivery. We get it. But I'm with you, Matty. Like, when I read his last interview, this is personal. This is a man who's been through a lot, who's put his heart on the line. Yeah, he's made mistakes. And I'm willing to give him this chance to see what this is about. He is a luminary.
I think people are being fair, too. They're like, I respect him. With all due respect, I don't believe what he's saying. And I think the industry has proven it'll give him his flowers if he delivers here. But I get people's skepticism, but I'm with you. The human spirit's calling me where I'm like, something reads different about all of this. Like, this is it.
I agree, because with a person like him, let's be honest, he's a strong personality, very, he's out there. It is what it is. Hey, but I'm sensing humility. I'm sensing passion. I'm sensing I need to make this right. This is my last shot at this. He's not getting any younger. So let's see what happens. Hopefully, he delivers and, he rides off into the sunset. And trust me, if people are going to tell him, you're saying this, David, he'll hear about it. But it reminds me of, this is what his future dream for what Populous could be. And I was a person that really liked Populous, so I'm willing to give it a shot.
Awesome. All right. Well, we'll keep our eye on it. That's April 22nd, 2026. This sparked a bit of a debate online, Cog. I'm not sure how much you've paid attention to Crimson Desert, but the headline has come out thanks to an interview on the Gaming Interviews YouTube channel with Pearlbis, who's the developer behind Crimson Desert. His name's Will Powers, and he was talking about the size of the open world map. And he says, I don't think numbers really do it justice because how big it is in the terms of scope and scale. But what we can say is that the world is at least twice as big as the open world, the playable area of Skyrim. And it's larger than the map of Red Dead Redemption 2. He went on to insist that the size of Crimson Desert's open world won't determine its quality. Rather, what you do within it is a key factor. He says the continent of Pywell is absolutely massive, but size doesn't really matter if there's nothing to do. Open world games are about doing things, having activities, having distractions. So we wanted to create a world that's not only massive, but also incredibly interactive. And then he also follows this up by saying that players will form their own headcanon through role-playing in the Crimson Desert. So you choose the type of character you want to play as in the terms of its progression within the systems in the game, and then through the headcanon, you're going to be having this very different experience than other players because of the scope and scale of the game. You'll be distracted by something else, and you'll go through this quest line. You'll have an experience that's radically different than someone else, even though they're playing the same game and the canonical storyline that you both are going through. So this is March 19th, and I mean, this game looks massive. I just want to get your thoughts on the map size debate, because a lot of people are like, it doesn't matter how big it is, it's about what's within it. I think this part was cut out of the context on, of course, the Twitter debates, because a lot of people were like, who cares? And I'm like, the guy literally said for himself, it matters what's in the map and that they're confident what's there. Mm-hmm. But when you look at Crimson Desert, are you a believer?
I'm a believer on what the potential is. The potential looks absolutely amazing. Like, this game looks unreal. It looks so good. I'm like, is it real? Like, that's how Crimson Desert looks to me. Yeah. I just want to ask you a question before I go forward. What is the debate? The debate of people like, hey, don't be talking about you bigger than Skyrim and Red Dead. And
it's more like quantity versus quality. Like, who cares if your world could be 4 times bigger than Skyrim? But what matters is what's within it, right? And so that's what I want.
Got it. Yeah, got it. No. I mean, I think that's a fair argument for people who are concerned about it. I think to your point, though, when I read the article, he seems to give that exact context. Like, yo, having a world that big with nothing to do with it is something that they don't value. So I like that he actually verbalized that. And I like the fact that I like the idea of having a canonical game. I call it the water cooler moment game. You know, I'm going to talk about Mass Effect stuff in a bit, because I've still been in that bag. And it's like, it's one of those things where me and you play the same game, and you'd be like, yo, you did that? That happened? Like, that didn't happen for me. Like, I hope it's to that level the way he mentioned that, because he said, yeah, you get distracted by something, you go on the quest line, you'll have an experience that'll be radically different than someone else, even though they're playing the same game and with the same canonical storyline that you're both going through. I like seeing things like that. So, you know, we'll see. You know, I'm pulling for it. I don't see anything. I don't think there's a flag on the play. Just reading this face value, I'm not getting anything that's, yo, he out of pocket for saying that. All I care about is this game looks super ambitious. Yeah. And my only concern is like, damn, again, it's one of those games that I got to get a hold of it, because it looks so amazing. The scale of scope is so dope that you're like, wow, can they pull this off? And then the last part, I will say this, though, I did like this part that I think maybe people are missing, is the fact that, because remember, you are flying drag, you can do it. So even though maybe the world is bigger than that, but because the traversal is so, you're getting around, that kind of compensates for what the scale that it's being described as. So that's where I'm at with it for now.
We'll see. Obviously, it's not too much longer now, just a little bit over 2 months. But this is one of my most anticipated games of the year. It's like, like I've talked about numerous times, I'm trying to play, you know, tighter games, but this is like the one open world game that I'm gonna open myself up to, because I gotta see. Because I remember the only thing that sticks with me is what Brad said. Brad played it and he was like, Matty, it is like a real thing and like it's awesome. And I'm like, oh, okay, I hope so. So
I forgot Brad played.
Yeah, that was Summer Games Fest, I want to say. So fingers crossed, bro. Fingers crossed. All right, next up here is ATLUS finally doing it. We have a write-up from Video Game Chronicle. Sega and ATLUS's 30th anniversary website for Persona mentions the next chapter in the series. They're promoting the mark with an occasion that has special events, anniversary merchandise, and more. But as spotted by social media users, the snippet reads, 2026 marks the 30th anniversary of Persona. Come celebrate the journey as we usher in the next chapter for the series, end quote. So there's a level of like, it has to be it, right? Like this has to, because we've been wondering, where is it? Can you believe Persona 5 was almost 10 years ago now? 2017. Royal was 2020. I will 100% eat my shoe on this one. I was dead fucking wrong. I thought Persona 6 would be out by now. Like, I'd go that far. I know, like, I thought it'd be out by now. I did not think they would take this long. I don't know if metaphor mixed things up. I don't know, bro, but like I was so wrong. So them maybe announcing it this year is still like, I hope we really see the game. I don't know how far along it is, but like I've talked about before, I just hope they shake up the social gameplay because I think they've mastered the turn base. I want to see what they do on the social front. But Cog, I mean, you're a metaphor guy. Would you go to high school for a little Persona action?
I would go to high school, yeah, for sure. I'm the metaphor guy. Okay. I'm the metaphor guy, but I understand the OG. But I got to be messy, though. I got to come for the realm of the Dukes. Got to be messy. Y'all the same people. Like, how long was the last Persona? How long did it take? How many years?
5 Royal. Oh, you're saying how long did it take to make?
Yeah. I mean, no. How long was the release of the last Persona 5? When was that? How long?
Last Persona 5 was 2020 with Royal.
Okay, 2020. Okay. So I'm just saying because it's taking long. And the word in the streets is when something's taking long, they want to pull the creator off and don't allow him to make, because that's what I heard. I heard that they not allowed to make, other games like a metaphor, and they better give us our Persona 6, damn it. But not saying that you said this. I'm just saying I'm being messy. This is really, I'm coming for Addict and King. This is not really you. You have not been on this. So let's be clear. I am not coming for Matty. This is me being silly to buy.
I thought you were, but I don't mind.
Oh, no, I'm not coming for you. I'm coming. This is because, but there are people in the realm of the Dukes that agree with King and Addict, and they're like, yo, it's taking too long. What's going on? So I'm just saying, hey, we're going to pull the creator of Persona off now and spit it off to someone else. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think you could argue that there's, I don't know if it'll show in the end product, but I think you could argue that there has been some trouble on the transition because I thought we wouldn't see metaphor for a while when they first started to talk about Project Fantasy, but then they got that out and like, we still haven't seen, we don't even like, usually Persona 6's marketing is like, here's an anime trailer to show you just the aesthetic, like the color palette, the characters, like what do these characters mean, that sort of thing. Like, what's the general theme of the game? And then they break it down from there. And like, it's, I don't know what the marketing changes each time a new Persona game comes out because there's such big gaps between them, right? Like 4 had its time on the market. The difference between 4 to 5 and 5 to 6 is that 4 got like endless spin-offs.
Right.
Dancing games, arena games, Q games, the 3DS JRPGs, like it got all these different games. So when 5 was taking so long and we started to see the spin-offs, like here's 5 Dancing. Okay. Yeah. Here's Strikers. Strikers is an awesome game, by the way. It doesn't get talked about enough. Basically turns Persona into an action RPG. But we thought, okay, here we go. Like we're going to get Persona 5 Arena. Never got that. Like it just kind of switch got flipped off. There's just been no Persona outside of like the 3 remake and whatnot. So they've handled things a little bit different.
One. Remember the turn-based thing? What was it? Persona 5?
Oh, Tactica. Yes.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one. Thank you. Yeah, I think you could argue that there's been some trouble on the home front though. Like that, I don't feel like it should have taken this long, especially the fire that Persona 5 really had. I think its crowning moment, it's going to sound ridiculous because the game itself is like a crown jewel in my eyes, but it really was when they got Joker and Smash. Like that was a moment where it's like, you're on that level now.
Yes.
Huge reveal.
I remember.
And such a good character in that game too. Fits so well. So I do wonder a little bit about Persona 6, and I just hope the wait's worth it. And I wonder how the community will react if it is just another like go to high school, similar social mechanics, similar gameplay to 5 Royal and Metaphor. Like I do wonder what it's going to mean to that fan base, because to me, I've even gone to the length of saying like they should go to a college, like they should change the social systems, like, but we've had 5 games now of like high school life. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But not too much longer.
Not too much longer. All I was going to say was, again, I'm just being messy with that. This is literally me versus my own podcast. And then I'm coming for Solve because he's still trying to die on the sword that it wasn't, not coming to Xbox. And that's going to be over. I'm just going to collect a whole bunch of banging events.
Yeah. No, I think 6 on Xbox is a guarantee. Yeah, I'd be so surprised if it's not there.
Yeah. And your point about the social settings, I do feel they need to now take the next step. What's the next step of the social interaction? I feel like, because I even though I loved it in Metaphor and obviously Persona, like it does feel like something now needs to else evolve and happen with it, because it's great, but we need something to the formula, a little some new spin on it or something.
Yeah, like that's my problem with it right now. Is like one of the reasons I took a while to finish Persona 3 Reload was like it just was so like press square. It was the same thing as 5. Like 5 was a good quality of life enhancement, so you didn't care at the time. But like you press square, you go to the section on your phone, it just teleports you to where you need to go. You press X to interact, and you watch the cutscene, and then you rinse and repeat that. And it's not engaging. Like I wonder if they did like a Yakuza style mini game, what that would be like. I think there's, I mean, it's a series about spending time, living life. So you have to do some level of quality of life enhancements, but it's a big challenge to figure out. I'd be very interested to see how they think about a Persona 6.
Agreed.
All right. We got another interesting comment here. This one's from Ubisoft, and the claim is that the Division 3 will have as big an impact as the Division 1, and that it's shaping up to be a monster. This is from Julian Garrity, who is the executive producer of the Division franchise, and they were talking recently on the New Game Plus showcase for 2026, and he said, so the Division 3 is in production, right? That's not a secret. That's been announced. It's shaping up to be a monster. I can't really see anything more than that, but this is within the walls and massive. We are working extremely hard on something that I think will be as big an impact as the Division 1 is. And I don't know about you, but I kind of take that with some serious weight. I know it's Ubisoft talking, and there's a level of like, okay, you got to put up first. But I think back to the Division 1 and 2 fondly. And I know you have your own angle as like a live service guy, but Division 1 didn't deliver on everything for me, but its setting was really memorable. And I know it wasn't like, I do always think of like that demo that they showed, and they didn't have all those mechanics. And so I think that's fair critique, but I played that game a lot. The Dark Zone felt like very innovative for its time, just like a really good loot-based game. Division 2, its most impressive feat, as we've talked about, was shaking off that sort of like every live service game during that period couldn't have a stable launch to save its life. You'd bought a game to play on 2 days after release. Division 2 just had some magic where it was like, yeah, dude, you know what? Like this had a smooth launch. It was basically a co-op campaign, and I was in and out. I had no hooks, no FOMO, nothing. And so Division 3 being claimed to have as big of an impact as the first game, I'm curious what that means, because the first one, like, I know it gets clowned on a little bit, but like it really was a huge game. So for you as a live service guy, what does this read as to you?
I love it. You know, I know the Division bros, they don't like me. They're very, very angry. I talked about this on Summer Sign. I figured out the source of the anger. I figured it out. Because what happens, Matty, is when you love these live service games, it becomes very territorial. It's very gang warfare. The Division bros want you to play with them. Stop playing Destiny, Cog. Play with us. This is the superior game. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Warframe guys, stop playing Destiny, Cog. You know, this is superior. And I get it. Look, let me tell you the impact of it. I'm going to give Division their flowers.
Okay.
Destiny 1 at that time was off of like Cursival. So they were going through a down period, I believe. And it was just no more content left. And I think it was like a drought after one of their updates. And Division 1 came out, and I'll never forget, Matty, there was the most mass exodus from my clan.
My clan?
My clan was like, Cog, we are done. Destiny's dead, bro. D1's dead. This is the new hotness. And I remember it like it was yesterday, because one of the claims, the only mistake Division 1 did make was they claimed there was going to be a raid on Rikers Island or something like that. And that never happened. Yeah, that never happened. But let me be clear, though. The impact of Division 1, I'm going to give them their flowers, was powerful. The setting, you know, New York, wintertime. You know what I'm saying? Remember the demo, going through the cars, closing the door. You know what I'm saying? You know, as you walk past it, you know, amazing stuff. And like you said, innovative. Forget it. They were the pioneer for put extraction shooter. The Dark Zone was literally extraction. That became crazy. Who do you trust to get in and get out? They had everything. And it's just like, man, the support there. And then they also had a mode, I want to give them their flowers, it was called Survival, where they played on realistic conditions. The cold is getting to you. You got to find food to survive. It was a mode that I'm mad they never brought into Division 2. Survival had its flowers. So look, when he says this, and I'm with you, man, I thought Division 2 was amazing. The launch was great. But when I spoke to the hardcore Division guys, and we had, I forgot his name. Oh my God. We had like, this is in the heart of the last word that we're doing Destiny podcast, consistently being E. I forgot the gentleman's name, but we had him on. He was the Division top guy. And he was like, I'm done with the game. And we're like, why? What's going on? And he's just like, they don't listen to the community. They don't take the feedback. They still have some of the same bugs that they had in part 1. Shout out to my boy Slow Mo Slapback. He's a Division guy. He would tell me certain things. So as much as people love it, it was massive. That was kind of the problem here. So I'm pulling for them though, because I will say this, and when I get into what I'm playing still with Destiny, Division always did something that I respected. And as a person who loves build crafting, they were the first I've seen to have gear sets. I love stuff like that. So let's see what happens, man. Division 3, pulling for them. The lane's open for them right now. Let's see if they do it. Sure. And I'm actually excited to see where they go with it.
Maybe what you said there is why he thinks it'll have an impact. Now I didn't even think of that. Like the lane is pretty open right now. It's open, it's surprisingly uncluttered, and people are looking for a new home. We got a lot of Destiny refugees looking for a new place to land, and
because people it's either Arc Riders, some of people are Arc Riders, Battlefield, like it's all over. But Division could fill that void. This is the time to strike. Yeah,
I agree. Interesting, very interesting. I did not think of that. Mm-hmm. We'll see soon. But Cog, next up here, have you been paying attention to these rumors about a secret Witcher 3 expansion? So for those who have not been paying attention, I'll summarize for you. So what you've got is a rumor that broke out last summer that The Witcher 3 was going to get a new expansion to set up series story in The Witcher 4. And we've seen some games, like the one game that came to mind for me when I was making my video on this subject was Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3. They added the Commander Lilith in the fight for Sanctuary DLC, which set up Borderlands 3 from Borderlands 2. And I thought that was really cool that Gearbox did that. And gets fans hyped, gives you something new to play, natural handoff, and especially when you have a company like CD Projekt Red who's done legendary DLC and expansions in the past, pretty good recipe for excitement there. But this started up last summer, and there's been some updates since that I want to catch people up on to get to today's update. So right before the Game Awards, a podcaster who does a show called, I think it's the Rocky Boris podcast. It's a Polish podcast, and they've had a lot of reports correct in the past for a lot of Polish-based studios. But they had reported that we could expect to see this Witcher expansion coming in 2026 and that it would be shown off at the Game Awards. It wasn't shown off there, but then there has been a lot more other smoke around this rumor. One such place was a Polish analyst who was recommending people put stock into CD Projekt Red because they seemed to be hearing that an expansion was on the way, and they were like, yeah, they're going to make a lot of money. Like, we're anticipating it's a $30 expansion. It's going to sell like 10 million units, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got that there. Then the latest is IGN Poland has said that they've been aware of potential plans for several years, at least initially, to explore the Zerrikania part of The Witcher 3's map, which is, for those who don't know, an exotic desert region. They said this information does go back several years, but it's also a string of reasons. It also lists a string of reasons as to why Zerrikania makes sense. It was mentioned a lot during the Blood and Wine expansion. You can also see them in the tabletop RPG. And so what we have here is something percolating that I think would be quite the game changer. Witcher 3 came out in 2015, and it might get a greenlit expansion and have it released in 2026, all these years later. And I think that's pretty incredible. So I'm very excited about this. I started reading the Last Wish last night, which is the first Witcher book for those who don't know. And I'm just kind of like trying to dive into this world. Like I talked about, give my energy to the IP that have really, nurtured me well, treated me well, respected me. So very excited about this, though. I think this kind of tee up is perfect because one of the things on my list, Cog, this year, Blood and Wine. Finally, my comment section was cooking me up, bro.
Oh, there.
I mean, the best comment was just that, dude, you beat Veilguard, but you haven't beat this. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, this is why I said last year going into this year, I was like, I know, like, I don't got to bend over and smell shit to know it's shit anymore. Like, I don't need to put, like, I could have beat Blood and Wine 4 times over in the time that I played Veilguard. So I get it, right? So fire's been lit. I'm going after it. But in the meantime, Cog, secret Witcher 3 expansion, how are we feeling when we read and hear about this?
This is amazing. Like, could you imagine? Like, that would be like me getting Mass Effect DLC. Like, what?
What I'm saying, though, is I hope other companies look at this and go, hey, I have an idea. Like, we just got the Oblivion remaster. Imagine Bethesda going, like, why don't we just do another expansion for this? Like, I don't know if it sets up Elder Scrolls 6, but, like, it's right there.
It is interesting. It's a new wave of thinking. Shout out this is bold. I've never seen really anything like that. This level of time has passed for what is considered an absolute classic to get new content at this day and age. Something amazing. So clearly they have a story to tell. I want to see how they handle it. And then obviously it's a perfect setup, for the next Witcher game that we do know. We saw the trailer, we saw Siri, we see everything that's going on. Yeah, shout out to CD Projekt Red. They got stuff cooking, man. They got it. This is amazing news. I've never seen anything like that. If anybody can pull it off, it's them.
Next up, Cog, we're going to dive into AI a little bit. Not once, but twice this show. This one's interesting because you and I were chatting a bit about it off the show. And I do feel like its use case is interesting because it's an angle I had not considered. And given that was the case, maybe others haven't thought about it this way either. This write-up's by IGN. They say Stellar Blade director and CEO of ShiftUp, Hung Tae Kim, has stated that without the use of AI, developers in smaller nations will struggle to keep up with the studios in place like US and China. As first reported by Game Mecca and picked up by Automaton, Kim addressed attendees at South Korea's 2026 Economic Growth Strategy event and said that countries like China have an overwhelming advantage due to the sheer number of staff it can throw at video game development. He says, we devote around 150 people to a single game, but China puts in between 1,000 to 2,000. We lack the capacity to compete both in terms of quality and volume of content, Kim said via machine translation. He says, using AI will not result in job losses, Kim insisted, but instead making employees more valuable as one person can perform to the work of 100 people. Now, this timed out very well because this same week, ShiftUp had given 300 of its staff an Apple Watch, AirPods Max, and a $3,400 cash bonus. We know that Stellar Blade 2 is on the way, and COG AI, big topic in game development. Have you heard this angle before about the international competition? Because this was new to me.
This is new to me too. I didn't look at it from an international angle, and I always looked at it from a smaller studio angle. Like,
right.
Smaller guy, he'll be more apt to use something like that so he could compete with the big AAA publisher. You know what I'm saying? That's what I thought the use case, but I didn't even think about it. So it is interesting to see, you know what I'm saying? And, obviously ShiftUp out there, they clearly be doing well, you know what I'm saying, with what's going on with Stellar Blade. And obviously we heard the rumors of Stellar Blade 2. I think Gene was the one that broke it. He think it's going to be probably multi-platform, I think. Interesting. Obviously China is a major player, right? As far as in the US, as far as, them having the sheer numbers to be able to put into game development, on a bigger scale. Look, it's going to come down to, this is such a polarizing topic. It's going to come down to what I always feel. Is it good, bro? Is it good? That's literally it. Because if it's not good, right, we are going to let you know. But if they pull another Stellar Blade and they pull another, you know what I mean, and they're utilizing this thing, again, you have to show the use case. And you have to show that, okay, yeah, this, like me and you talked last, dude, like, how did this improve development? Give us the tangible show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would love, that's why like I'm really trying to get to DICE and the GDC this year. Like, I want to have these conversations. Show me. Tell me, because right now, I think you can make the argument that the slop talk is justified until you show us. Like, you just say, and my thing is, and we're going to talk about it, I'm getting annoyed that they're getting annoyed that people are apprehensive and mad about it. Like, I've never seen CEOs be like, I'm not feeling you mad about this. like that's why I know I know I'm bleeding into the next, but like, no, we're in a, you know what I'm saying? We're in this weird zone with this. And I told you this, I said, Matty, the people are going to decide. I still have faith in the human spirit as far as what is hot and what is not. And we're going to see. But I'm glad we highlighted this in fairness to other countries, showing like, yo, we cannot compete. We have to use this. This is advantageous for us. Okay, fair enough. We'll see more examples and let's see.
Yeah. It's funny. I was telling Cog when we were talking about this before, I said that you never see it like developers powwowing and being like, yeah, isn't it great? It's always like, this is let me get the exact quote here. This is the South Korea 2026 economic growth strategy event, which, by the way, is a fucking insane thing to have existing. Let's all get together and learn how to fucking make money and rip people off. Like, how do we save cash? Like, just unbelievable. But you never really see it in this like passionate setting. Like, I love making games. Have you ever heard of ChatGPT or like it? But I think what gets mixed up, as we'll talk about progressively through this conversation, is like when we talk AI, it's very broad. I don't think AI is inherently bad. I think Gen AI is a problem though. And some of these devs are pro Gen AI, and I think it's a problem. But like, that's where, again, we need to see how the sauce is made to understand, like, what are you doing to cook this meal? Are you spitting in my food and just masking it with some marinara sauce? I can't taste it then, bro, but you still spit in my food, you know? So that shit matters. That shit matters, man. All right, let's keep moving. We got a lot of AI to get through here.
Let's get it.
Meta, Cog's old stomping grounds. They're closing several VR studios, man. And some big ones at that. We read the tea leaves on this one. These last couple of years, we've seen the Meta earnings reports for their reality labs. And now the cut has come in favor of AI. So they are laying off 10% of the reality labs, 15,000 strong workforce. And they have targeted some of their prolific VR studios. And in my eyes, the prolific VR studio outside of what Valve has done. This is Twisted Pixel, who just put out Deadpool VR. They also hit developer Armature Studio, who did Resident Evil 4 VR. And Sanzaru Games is shut down as well. And that's, for those who don't know, Asgard's Wrath, which was like the killer app for VR through and through. I mean, you know, say what you will, Meta did put out a lot of compelling content, dude. Like, they did put out a lot of shit that like made you turn your head at VR and go every year, like, what is that? And these were the studios that were doing it. So if they're gone, I don't think they're in for much longer. And maybe with Valve's new headset, if there's a lease on life for VR there, but this is a major competitor out here. And here's what IGN writes. They say the cuts just come 4 years after Facebook changed its name to Meta and went big on virtual reality in the metaverse. Letters reportedly went out yesterday morning, which is Tuesday, January 13th, and developers from the impacted studios shared their shock on social media. They say Twisted Pixel is the studio behind a number of popular Xbox Live arcade games, such as 2009's The Maw and Splosion Man, became part of Microsoft Studios in 2011 and went to do the Kinect exclusive shooter, The Gunstringer, and the Xbox One game, Loco Cycle, before becoming an independent company and moving into VR development. Meta only acquired Armature and Twisted Pixel in late 2022 and Sanzaru in 2020. However, it now seemingly is shedding much of its internal VR business as Meta scrambles to recover billion-dollar losses and pivots to AI. In a statement, Meta confirmed that 3 studios closures. They said, we said last month that we were planning or shifting some of our investment from metaverse towards wearables. This is part of that effort, and we plan to reinvest the savings to support the growth of the wearables this year. According to Reuters, CEO Mark Zuckerberg prioritized and spent heavily on the metaverse, only for the business to burn more than $60 billion since 2020. The Reality Labs business also produces MetaQuest mixed reality headsets. And according to CNBC, Meta isn't abandoning VR entirely. It's now courting developers who build games for Roblox to build experiences for Horizon Worlds. Cog, I would love for you to open us up here on what Meta's up to as they shift their focus more to artificial intelligence. We actually have it right in here. Yes, the Juan One says, hello, Dukes. Meta just announced the shutdown of both Sanzaru Games and Twisted Pixel, 2 great PS3, Xbox 360 era studios, leaving only Camouflage as the only VR team left that Meta owns. Is the future for VR gaming dead, with both PlayStation and Meta leaving the VR market? Cog, you used to be in that building. Your thoughts?
Yeah, sad. This is tough. So many levels. So first, you know, these studios that were shut down, like the reason why it really hurts is because Meta was the first to truly kind of invest on that level and have these studios. And I remember when I was speaking to Naughty Dog founder, Jason Rubin, and me and him, you know, I remember when I went over there, we would have conversations. I'm like, oh, I'm working with Jason Rubin today. Like, I was hyped, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember being in the building and having these conversations, and, you know, his general excitement and enthusiasm. Shout out to the great Bill Stillwell, who was their former Xbox Cloud,
guy.
backward compatibility. He was there. I would have these conversations with a lot of people, and the general enthusiasm was coming off of Quest 2, the right price point, $299, great device, easily to get into, had the software, and they would update on the hardware level, something special. Obviously, they went from Oculus to Meta. I didn't like the name, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then when I get there, it was more of a, okay, you know what, guys? You guys have a great device, but we need to get my people involved. Because remember, I came in as a skeptic to you guys from a VR standpoint. So if you don't get me and convince me, and one of the things I used to fight for was gaming sensibilities, right? Making sure we don't have Matthew's government name with his Facebook. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my biggest projects, creating the Horizon account where it's like, hey, just need an email address. You could be Mr. Matty Plays. You don't have to be your full government with your Facebook friends and family and your mom and all that, that kind of stuff, the integration. Now, during my course there, I felt like Pro was a major mistake because they made the Quest 2 Pro and they priced it to this they were doing tariffs before tariffs. like it was like this $1,000 device, and it's just like, okay, but who is this really for? And now you've priced yourself out. And then the next thing was 3, and Quest 3 was amazing. The problem is, again, you go from the $299 sweet spot. That's how you get people to say, all right, you know what? I'll try that for $299. Now you jump to 5. The tech's there. It's amazing, but it's a big ask. Now to the studio part, I remember when I saw Asgard's Wrath 2. Oh my God. Man. Killer app. Deadpool, killer app. Resident Evil 4. Let me tell you, horror in VR is the way to go. Like, it's so real. I'm like, I ain't built for that. I was like, nope, I'm good. Yeah, I'm a grown man, but that's too much for me. But that's how great it was. I was just like, so yeah, it just, I felt like, and I remember having conversations internally, and I would just say, hey, what do you think's going to happen? And a lot of discussion behind the scenes, kind of like, look, if 3 doesn't hit from they need 3 to hit the way Quest 3 to hit the way Quest 2 hit. If it doesn't hit, we may be all be looking for jobs. That was the talk back then during my time, and I won't say the names, but, very high up people. And here's the thing, Zuck invested so much into this. He just kept.
Can't say they didn't try.
Bullheaded. Like some people would say almost bullish, too bullish, where it's just like, yo, you're seeing the signs and you're not getting back on investment, but they were the leaders in it, kind of thing. So look, this is clearly, you close your first party studios, the ones that you made. I've spoken to people in the building. It's a wrap. It's a wrap, and it's sad. It's sad because I know a lot of people there, a lot of people that worked on these games, a lot of people that I work hand in hand. These are talented people, and now this is where the flip side. So all the CEOs who upset of why people are mad about or apprehensive about AI. Because now you see whole corporations shifting their focus out of gaming into this as the wave. And Meta is doing that. And that is sad to see, and I do think this is they're going to say, and this is just this is just now me speaking on speculation. They're going to say, we're not giving up on it because they want Horizon Worlds, to be the thing. And I just be honest, like I've always told them, I've never been the biggest fan of it. I felt that's an additive thing to game experiences. Give us game experiences, and then you can, give the user, hey, check this out. You know what I'm saying? While you're there on the device. That's how I felt there. I've always fought for that when I was there. So, now it's clearly going to be just that. And it's sad, man. This is something, again, CEOs who are, you're spreading negativity about it. You're dooming about. This is why people are dooming about it. They don't believe in this investment and they want games. So, yeah, sad stuff, man. Good people, good fan. I will say this about Meta. My time there was busy as crazy and hard as I worked. Some of the best people I've ever worked with. I legit had fun with these people. I learned a lot. I have nothing but positive to say for the people in the building, because people don't understand, when you work at a company that is hated, people don't understand that mindset. People hate them. But when you speak to the people, I remember tough meetings, Matty, and people be like, yo, I came here because I'm trying to, I was coming here to make a difference. And now you guys are going to revert and go back and do the thing. You know what I mean? Those are the conversations that resonate. I remember those meetings. I'm like, man, that's tough because I know what it is to be in the line of fire at a company, you know what I'm saying, nobody likes, but you're trying to make a difference there and change the culture. So I hope everybody lands on their feet, man. Tough day for me to meet this.
Yeah, it really sucks because it kind of signals the death of just like the prominent VR games. Like it sucks because I think one of the reasons people didn't adopt the tech is even at its lightest, like a MetaQuest 3, which felt very comfortable. It's still like, I think people just want a pair of glasses they can put on. Like, I don't think they want the cyborg face, you know, the RoboCop face or something like that. You know, I don't think they want that. So it's a shame that for how far it moved forward. I mean, they did invest, you know, I can't hate too hard. It's such a shame to see, but it's also like, I mean, they swung every year with really great games. Like these were not bad games. You know, there was a point where VR games were not convincing, not good, not interesting, not appealing, but they really did change that. So it's just a shame that that good time is over. And that a lot of great teams got split up. Because for me, like Sanzara was one that I look at and go, man, like they went on to do great things, but I always think of like their inheritance of the Sly Cooper franchise. And I just thought they did such a great job with that. So just to see that team gone in general, I had such reverence for them. And to know like there's an alternate reality where they go on to make a Sly 5 or something, just never happens. I mean, such a shame. Heartbreaker for sure.
Definite.
One last AI topic for y'all out there who are curious. Maybe AI, I guess we'll say, because the conversation started this way. I think it's what prompted what Larian's doing here. They announced at the end of last year, they were hosting a AMA on Reddit to talk with their community and kind of reconnect with everyone there. And as a result of that, they've now clarified some stuff, such as their stance on Gen AI, which was a big talking point to round out the year. So we have the write-up here from IGN, and let's go through it. They say, first up, Larian CEO Sven Vinke explained how the developer itself has changed since the blockbuster launch of Baldur's Gate 3 back in 2023. He said, we were 411 people at the end of Baldur's Gate 3 and have around 500 people working on Divinity now, he confirmed. Our teams evolve in function of the games we try to make and what we think the size of the market is. We grew a lot during Baldur's Gate 3 because we wanted to make a cinematic RPG with loads of choice and consequence, but we also knew there was a market and scaled accordingly. Our growth has slowed down a bit as we have most of the team in place to make big cinematic RPGs, but there are still a few things that we didn't do before that we are doing now. They write, moving on, Larian confirmed Divinity's looting system will include handcrafted items as Baldur's Gate 3 did, as opposed to random and level loot dependent seen in Divinity Original Sin. As you'd expect, Divinity will also have modding support via modding tools, but it's unclear if they'll be available for launch. Larian confirmed that Divinity will have co-op at launch and that modders will be able to up the player count. He says the amount of players that are playing together will be depending on the final party size, but since modding is planned for this project, players will be free to extend this. So there's no hard limit to the amount of co-op players. However, Divinity will not support native keyboard movements such as WSAD right out of the box, which means modder will have to do their things again. Meanwhile, Divinity will run on Larian's proprietary engine, which includes significant changes. They say for each game, we bring significant changes to our engine. This is from the head of gameplay, Artem Titov, who said, since Divinity engine is our own full creation, it is easier to alter it to serve a new game rather than to write a new engine from scratch. As for new mechanics, head of design, Nick Peckernine teased that there was something that bothered me when I started to explore the areas of DOS 1, 2, and Baldur's Gate 3. It stares at you in the face if you think about it. He says, in Divinity, I can finally do the thing I wanted to do in every previous game, and most believe this is about swimming. As for the camera perspective, Divinity's camera will work very similarly to Baldur's Gate 3, so expect a hybrid of the top-down, third-person camera style. Larian's CEO Sven Vinke couldn't say when we'll see Divinity gameplay. He just said, we'll see. We're in full production mode now and still have truckloads of work to do. And Larian wouldn't be drawn on the player races and classes either, but did say there are clues to Divinity's races in the much-discussed announcement trailer. As for tone, lore, and story, they said writing director Adam Smith discussed the tonal difference between Divinity and Divinity Original Sin 2, saying it's more grounded, and you might have picked up on some of our full core vibes in the trailer. But with games the size of DOS 2 and Divinity, there's a lot of tonal variations as you move through the world and meet new characters. I hope it'll make you laugh, frighten you, shock you, and delight you. Smith also commented on Divinity's place in the overall Divinity series lore. It is in the same community or continuity, but it's a standalone story. Long-term Divinity fans will find lots of familiar things, but it's never just fan service. It's to serve the world in the story that we're telling. The Divinity universe is full of weird and wonderful characters, and I'm really excited to be part of that legacy. Bert Van Cimetier, that's a hell of a name. I love that. Also touched on this, saying Divinity is a different universe than Baldur's Gate. While you do not need to play the previous Divinity games, it would certainly improve your enjoyment if you do. You'll also perhaps recognize certain characters or situations or learn to explore the large universe that was already built for Divinity. Nick Pekkanen confirmed that Divinity will not keep the magic armor system from DOS 2. This is a huge one, Cog. Huge confirmation.
Okay.
I'll explain in a second here. They said there will be ways to protect your character from harm, but you'll not have to wait before you can use your fun skill on enemies. We are still cooking a system that makes sure that you don't have to work harder to stun lock solo bosses with, end quote. And Divinity's character customization will be even better than Baldur's Gate 3, according to art director Elena Durovina. She says more colors, more options, more control. Now, just pausing there for a second here, Cog, this armor system, have you played Divinity Original Sin 2 at all? Every enemy, most enemies, and especially boss enemies, have a magic armor and a physical armor.
Okay.
And what happens is it meant that to do damage to the health, you had to break the armor system.
Right.
And it became such a pain in the ass because every fight, you had to break the armor to then actually use your strong abilities because you couldn't hit them with like status effects. You couldn't do anything. Like they were just invulnerable until you broke through that armor there. And the problem also was is a lot of bosses, like they had the default ability of like, all right, like you hit me for enough turns, restore, break all that armor down again. And it turned these fights that, I mean, obviously if anyone's played Baldur's Gate 3, which doesn't have this system, you know the fights go on for a while anyway, but it turned fights that were like 30 minutes into, I can think of one fight in Divinity Original Sin 2, which took me an hour. And it's like, it did not need to be like that, bro. Yeah, did not need to be like that. So this is a huge. Great improvement.
Yeah, that sounds like a great quality of life.
Very debated in the community though. Some people do like it, but I think most of us are like, it's not that good, where I think they made the right choice here getting rid of it.
Nice.
Let's keep going here. Vinky touched on the size and scope of Divinity in compared to Baldur's Gate 3, saying Divinity takes everything we learned from Baldur's Gate 3 and DOS 2 and improves from there. In regards to Baldur's Gate 3, I think the main thing will be more agency and a rule system that was made for video gaming in addition to higher production values. Oh, and some really cool friends to meet. He said more agency, more consequences. We don't know ourselves yet how big it'll be. We are still making it. Larian is going to do their best to make Divinity playable on Steam Deck, given how popular Baldur's Gate 3 proved to be on Valve's portable gaming machine. They said, will the new engine render moving ropes correctly, or will we be able to look up at the sky? They said there's no real engine limitation to allow looking at the sky. Technical director Bert Van Cimetier had replied. However, the camera works is entirely a design choice. Alternative camera angles are always considered. If they benefit the game, we will for sure add it. As for the ropes, you can expect substantial changes to our physics engine in the future games. Combat and progression system. I warned y'all, this is a lot. There's so much here, but they did the full AMA and credit to them for being out there. We'll get to AI in a little bit. Head of design, Nick Pekkanen, said that Divinity will have a brand new combat system. We went through our original ideas for DOS 1 and 2, looked again at how they worked out in practice, picked up some of our inspirations from Baldur's Gate 3, early access, and post-release journey, consulted the star charts to see what we needed to do to stay competitive, and cooked a new action economy and character progression system. The feedback from Baldur's Gate 3 players trying DOS 2 for the first time has been especially interesting to us, seeing the two worlds colliding. We hope that fans of Baldur's Gate 3 and DOS 2 will find the new system intuitive but deep. And it sounds like Divinity may indeed come to Switch 2. They said, we have just released Divinity Original Sin 2 for Switch 2. We love the platform. We'll certainly consider a Switch 2 release for Divinity. They also did mention at some point that Baldur's Gate 3 coming to Switch 2 was not in their hands. Seems like that relationship with Hasbro is not good. So
really interesting.
So interesting. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah.
That's two gaming legends they've kind of lost out on for the follow-up, right? Like they're like, we're not doing Baldur's Gate 4, even though all the money's there. And so there goes Larian and Sven and all of them. And then obviously we just talked last week about James Olin going. So you gotta wonder a little bit what's going on with Hasbro.
Yeah, it is interesting.
This one is so each section of the IGN article has like bold text that kind of then defines what's going to be below it. This one says lizard romance. Here we go.
Let's
For all you out there, all you unmarried dukes. As a Larian RPG, romance will of course be in Divinity. And it sounds like the developer expects lizards to get on well with each other. Vinky said he was particularly excited for players to experience a spot of lizard romance. There's a lot he's excited for players to experience. We refer to show, not tell. That said, lizard romance seems to be like it's going to be popular. Will the orcs have a special twist in Divinity? He says, without saying which species are in the game, all of them have something unique. And as for companions, Adam Smith acknowledged the common criticism that Baldur's Gate 3's party members don't have much of a relationship between each other or talk to each other as much as party members do in some of their other games. This is something Larian is working to improve for Divinity. He said, yeah, the goal is to have more interactions between party members and it won't always just be talking. Divinity senior writer Kevin Van Ord, which by the way, I always think this is cool when I read his name because I remember watching this guy's reviews for GameSpot. Kevin Van Ord, awesome game reviewer. And like one of the people who inspired me to get into game reviews. And so it's so interesting to see him now writing, like he wrote for Baldur's Gate 3. I think I forgot what else he did, but like he's been writing for a while. And like, I just think it's so incredible that he's a part of this. He expanded on companion relationships, noting the narrative improvements he'd like to see for the game. Firstly, to have more interaction between companions, not just with more and better banter, but to have them develop deeper relationships with each other, just as they do with players. Secondly, to ramp up player friendship and romance more subtly so that relationship building feels natural. Is Divinity going to be just like that gruesome announcement trailer? They said, we're creating a dark world so you can expect there to be light in the darkness. It's a story about hope, Vinky insisted. But of course, we do want you to experience agency. So there's plenty of ways to take away that hope and be the darkness that snuffs out the light. Now we get into the fun stuff here. The biggest part of the entire article, Larian, Divinity, and Gen AI. As expected, Vinky addressed the generative AI controversy that emerged following Divinity's announcement. He insisted Divinity would not include any AI-generated art and confirmed it has ditched Gen AI tools during concept art development. However, Vinky confirmed that Larian is using Gen AI across other areas of development. Here's the full statement. He said, so first off, there's not going to be any Gen AI art in Divinity. I know there's been a lot of discussion about the use of AI tools as part of concept art exploration. We already said this doesn't mean the actual concept art is generated by AI, but we understand it created confusion. So to ensure there's no room for doubt, we've decided to refrain from using Gen AI tools during concept art development. That way, there could be no discussion about the origin of the art. Having said that, we continuously try to improve the speed of which we can try things out. The more iterations we can do, the better the gameplay is. He says, we think that Gen AI can help out with this. And so we're trying things out across departments. Our hope is that it can aid us to refine ideas faster, leading to more focused development cycle, less waste, and ultimately a higher quality game. The important bit to note is that we will not generate creative assets that end up in a game without being 100% sure about the origins of the training data and the consent of those who created the data. If we use a Gen AI model to create in-game assets, then it'll be trained on data that we own. They say this is all new technology, so I understand why it's difficult to see where the positive uses are. We believe machine learning is a powerful tool to accelerate and make game development more efficient and streamlined. This means that our creatives have more time doing the work that makes their job more rewarding and the game a richer experience. The important bit to note is that we do not, again, generate creative assets that end up in the game without being 100% sure of their origins. They said with over 100,000 voice lines scheduled to be in the game, recorded by hundreds of actors, and even hundreds of thousands more to be recorded that will not end up in the game, there are useful tools for us to reduce the mechanical legwork and free up time for teams that would be bogged down doing tasks that kept them away from doing what they really want to be doing. Additionally, our machine learning R&D team monitors and experiments with anything that is state-of-the-art and might influence game development pipelines of the future. This is important because we make our own engine, but we draw the line in the sand too. We explicitly committed in our actor agreements to not use the recordings to train or build AI voice modelers because we are aware of how sensitive it can be to artificially generate an actor's voice. Even if an actor were willing to agree to this, even if an actor were willing to agree to this, if we compensated them, we don't currently feel comfortable with including an AI-generated voice in our game. Writing director Adam Smith confirmed this stance on Gen AI, applying it to writing too. He said, we don't have any text generating touches of our dialogue, journal entries, or any other writing in Divinity. We had limited group experimenting with tools to generate text, but the results hit a 3 out of 10 at best. And those tools are for research purposes, not for use in Divinity. Even my worst first drafts, and there are a lot of them, are at least a 4 out of 10, although Sven might disagree. And the amount of iteration required to get them to even individual lines of the quality we want is enormous. From the initial stub to the line we record and ship, there are a great many eyes and hands involved in getting the dialogue right. So what areas do Larian use Gen AI on, and what does it mean by a creative asset? There's currently one example of machine learning generated assets that end up in the game, and that is within our cinematics and animation pipeline, Bosk explained. He said, in the pipeline, we try to capture the actor's performance as best we can, so we use machine learning models to clean, retarget, and even add motion when it's not motion captured. These models are trained exclusively with Larian data, end quote. So, whew, that was a lot. But there you have all the context on Divinity. Cog, I'd love to hear from you if there's anything you want to talk about in the world of Divinity.
Man, this is a lot. I love stuff like this because we get the deeper dive, right? And Sven is out there trying to be as transparent as possible. This game sounds super ambitious. I'm super hype about it. I love the co-op aspect. I love the fact that, they took a lot of the feedback from the original game and things that, like you said, you mentioned to me that are being changed for the better. So it seems like they got that. Man, there's just so much to talk about as far as the romance Bros. We're eating this lizard time. Big W there, you know what I'm saying? The scope and stuff like that. Look, everything sounds amazing. I guess the point of the hour will be the AI discussion. And this is important, For the most part, I get where he's coming from. For the most part, he's being transparent about the use of it. I like what he said about, as far as like voice acting and kind of treating that almost as sacred, right? Where it's like we don't feel comfortable with including that kind of stuff. Also trying to be transparent as far as generative AI, as far as the creative assets not coming from that. But being honest also about the tooling and having it utilized in a way where developers don't want to do menial tasks that would take them away from the things that they want to be doing. And I think I don't really have too much of a problem with that, to be honest with you. It's kind of like, I get it. It's one of these things that I think his word does hold more weight as a creative of one of the most iconic franchises that we cherish in terms of high quality and value. I think that does hold weight. What I do get from this is that if a person like him and his studio are utilizing these tools, get ready. You know what I mean? Because this to me signals that I remember that conversation. I believe it was him or someone from Larian that said, hey, if we don't use this, we're going to be last, right? And that is the vibe I'm getting. We're in an evolving industry where people are going to jump on this tech. And again, it's going to come down to the quality of the game. It's going to come down to the experience. How rich does it feel? How authentic does it feel? Kind of thing. And I think for the most part, a lot of this stuff was existing through machine learning and stuff like that. But the generative AI thing is a hot button. We can't dance around that. People are going to feel a way about the creative, artistic aspect of art and creation being automated and not having an original human influence. That's going to be a point of contention. What I do find interesting is the AI subject is such a hot button right now. The devs are trying to get in front of it and now try to kind of take a stand. Hey, we're not going to. Yeah. So I think that's a positive because all I can, even though I'm pro developer and I am pro make what you want, if this helps you, great. I am pro job. I am pro creativity. I am pro. I don't want to lose these, these amazing people in our industry that are just will be forced out for, I don't want to, use the word, but it is funny. Like the slop part, like, saying I don't want that in that part in there. I do fear for that. Again, bro, I got to use the story. I'm in an age where I was walking down the street. I'm going from doctor to doctor and I'm Mr. Uber Eats. I literally for the first time saw the automated Uber Eats delivery drivers, their little makos go past me. I'm like, bro, we're here. We're here. This is so crazy, bro. Like, I couldn't believe it. I actually took a quick video so you can see. Because it really, like, we're in the timeline, bro. We are in the timeline. This is me walking up on this thing. Look at it. Look at this little thing, bro. It is crazy. That thing is delivering in my hood, in my neighborhood. This is it, bro. This little jolt. It's crazy. This is the timeline we're in, bro. Automatic. We're the Jetsons. We're the Jetsons now.
That really is a little Jetson-esque. Yeah,
man. So that's what it is. But I'm curious of your thoughts on this. I know this is a hot button topic. I know you love Larian, but how are we feeling about Sven? You know, saying, hey, we still think Gen AI could help us. So where you at?
Perfect reply. I think this is perfectly handled. Like, we see where you have an issue. You don't want it in the creative sauce. Even if we don't think it's going to influence anything, we respect you. We're not going to use it in concept art. I think that was a great call. Having the writing director be like, dude, even for like our little things, like, nope, none. Like, we tested it out. Wasn't impressive. So we're not doing it. Cool. So art check, writing check. I think those are two of the purest forms. You want to use it to make sure your mocap's better? Sure. Knock yourself out. But like this, I had no doubt about them, but this kind of clears up for me. It's like a non-story now. I'm like, okay, perfect. So all good. Yeah. To me, all good. Ideal is what it sounds like. They've respected their audience in the one place that caused a lot of chaos, which was concept art. It's like, I know some people are like, who cares? I'm like, no, fundamentally, no, you just, unless, like I said in my video, which it seems like they're doing, so I was right about this, is that they trained it based off their own data. And I was like, when they were talking Gen AI so casually, I'm like, why? Like, you have 20 years of fantasy games to pick from, and you could just create your own model and generate based off that. Like, it's all right there. Like, so the way they were wording it is why I was concerned and confused to some degree, because I was like, if it's not that, and you guys are just using standard tools, why? You have not made anything but fantasy games for so long. So them clearing that up and kind of, I think, removing any doubt and understanding those concerns was smart. I think it also shows the tool isn't that useful if they were willing to be like, all right, we don't need it. Like, you know, they washed it away. So there's also that element to it all. But I like that they connected with the community, gave us a lot of details alongside it, and then cleared up, of course, the big one in Gen AI. So great write up by IGN. Appreciate them rounding it up for us here. Cog, it's time to talk about what games we are playing this week. You're up first, sir, and I like to see one of these games on your list. I haven't played this in so long, so please hit me. How are we doing, Cog? What are we playing?
Doing good, man. I'm in my journey. The Mass Effect journey continues. So we got 2 done, and now I'm starting 3. And Mass Effect 3, you might have to come to the front of the congregation.
Oh,
I may have been too hard on you.
I
may have been too hard on you. I am looking at it with an objective. It's been a while because 2 is the one I play consistently. And obviously 1 I love, but 2 is my goal. But man, 3 is such an improvement on a lot of the quality of life. Obviously, the combat, the fighting, things were way more streamlined. I felt the immediacy of the Reaper threat right in your face is prominent throughout the game. And then the thing that I like is that they took away some annoying things like the scanning of the planets and stuff like that. And now it's like, yo, you in the Reaper zone, they will come after you, you know, on that level, on the map level. Powers, everything is scaled right. The mods, the gunplay is even tighter. And 2 was a huge jump from 1. That was my major issue. But 3 has some great stuff. Then we talk about the galactic readiness, right? Which is like had all these different factors that also spanned off into a serviceable, dope multiplayer portion of the game that was amazing and addictive. And I'm just like, man, I forgot about all of this. The stakes are so high. You know, what I do like is the resolution of the culmination of every choice from 1 to now 3 is evident. What you did is Rex there, is this one there, this person's relationship with you based on things that you did in 2 and 1. Like, it is peak writing. It is peak choice and consequence. It is, man, like, I forgot. And then the glow up, I'm like, this could have been it. Now, granted, I think where I'm at, Matty, while I'm playing it again, is that obviously the elephant in the room is the ending, right? And I've not gotten to it yet. But as I'm going through this, I'm like, well, were we too hard on it? Were we expecting too much? Or is this the pressure that BioWare literally put on themselves for over the years? So maybe it was just unattainable because everything up prior to this point was just the epitome of gaming, you know, and RPGing. So
the problem with that ending, without spoiling for those who haven't played, is just that our man Casey Hudson, one of his worst aging quotes was, before the trilogy ended, he said, "It won't be red, green, blue. It was red, green, blue."
It was red, green, blue.
But the expanded ending, and when I think it massaged a lot of the issues. I think the ending's much better now, personally.
Yeah. So I gotta watch it now with this new lens. But so far, 8 hours in, and I'm just like, man, this is fantastic. And some emotional moments with Shepard and the crew.
Bro, there is some this game has like 5 different moments that have been branded to my brain since I played it, bro. Morden.
Bro. Teardrop, bro, man. Like, I'm
bro.
like, the Solarians are the homies. You know what I'm saying? Like, that, bro, you want to talk about heroism? You want to talk about, putting together a ragtag? Oh, my God, yes. Bro. And then, like, some people, the Fame storyline is just, man. You want to talk about philosophical and deep and, knowing, without spoiling, when there's something about a character when a character knows it's their time, but the way it is done. And granted, there's a part of me that wish I did a FemShep run for this.
I love FemShep so much. She's so good. I know. Mark Mir is incredible, but like, I mean, granted, I'm a Bastila fanboy, so I love Jennifer Hale, but like, she is so convincingly good in that role, bro.
There's a part of me that was like, man, maybe I've done Renegade, but maybe I should have went all out and I should have did FemShep Renegade and see how that goes, right?
Here's how I define it, right? FemShep male, or I should say, Renegade male Shep is hilarious, right? Like the way Mark Mir delivers everything is so funny.
So funny. But
Jennifer Hale delivers it in a way where it's like very ruthless and like militaristic, and it's very, I'd say, believable. Like you're not just evil. You're like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like I'm getting the mission done. Yes. And I love it. I love it. It really adds something. I've only done FemShep one time, and it was when Legendary Edition came out. It's a huge difference maker.
Yeah, that might be the other playthrough because that is a playthrough I've never done that. Like I can't get out, bro. I'm in my bag. I blame Exodus because I'm like, before Exodus comes out, I need to play the go all the way through to see why I love it. And then again, the beauty of this game, Matty, is that, like we were just talking about right now, there's such a small percentage chances of paths and divergence, things that you may never see based on the relationship, based on the character you have, FemShep, male Shep, based on who lived, who died. It is really great stuff. And I'm also revisiting the Tally and Legion, because remember, the Geth was such a threat in part 1. Like this was the mortal enemy. And now we encounter an anomaly, so to speak. And Tali's whole race of people, has been in common. They were moved from their home world because of this threat. Like, so it's all
perfect politics. It really is
perfect politics, man. Yeah. And then you got Ashley, what I affectionately call space racist.
He kept her alive, though.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We did what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? But
turn the blind eye.
Yeah, we turn the blind eye to your foolishness. But yeah, it is really.
She develops though. By the 3rd game, she's better character.
I hated her in 2.
Yeah,
2, she was so nasty to me. I'm like, bro, what? Like, I can't believe, because remember, you show up as Cerberus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she's like, whoa, what's going on, gang?
Yeah, but she's the type of character we don't get nowadays because so many developers, and I get why they are afraid, but we don't get hateable characters because everyone's got to be like fucking sexy and amazing and cool factor out the charts. And you can't get characters like her that are shitty people and continue to be shitty. It's like, oh, that's shit again. And then grow into something. Not that she has this incredible arc, but she changes over the, compared to like Caden. I mean,
Caden he was so one note. He was so boring. Let's be honest. Everybody was like, yo, Caden, you go over there. We know you ain't gonna make it. like let's be Caden that's the only. Come on, it's like the small little nitpick out of an amazing cast. But I also want to shout out from Mass Effect 2, the growth. Shout out to the homegirl. Shout out to Jack. Shout out to Jack.
I judged the book by its cover. I did not mess around with Jack much when I first played Mass Effect 2. I was in high school. I was like, I play with her. Yeah. You messed around completely.
I kept going back when she was down in that downstairs area of the ship. She don't want to be social with anybody. I kept going back down there because I was like, I know how BioWare is. If you push this button and there was a scenario, you got to hit the chords right and the choices of the path right. And you could literally have a one-on. And it is so disrespectful because it's like, all right, you got that. We're done. Don't think there's anything popping between us. This is just we just had needs and that was that. Really? I was like, damn. I was like, oh man, I was sipped out for this for no reason. But it's just, again, the fact that stuff is there, the fact that companion mission, the loyalty stuff is there, absolutely amazing stuff. And 3 really broke. Shout out to my man. When I forgot about Joker, how amazing Joker is in this shit. Like it is just such a good thing. So I'm about 8 hours in on that and loving it. And I still remember like this is the classic. This is I can't wait to get to the ending because I want to know with this amount of time because it's been a long time since I played through. How does it sit with me? How does it feel? Or were we just too emotional because of it? And I'm very curious to know
Colin's thoughts on that.
What did I missed it? What Colin say?
Have you ever seen that video Colin talking about Mass Effect 3? You haven't?
I've never seen this.
My God. Colin's video on wait, hold on. Let me just specify. Colin's video on IGN when the Mass Effect 3 ending was a huge drama thing. You never saw Colin's video.
I've never seen this.
It's so good. I love it so much. I love it so much because in a lot of ways it's aged well, I think. But also it's so funny seeing Colin doing these fucking jump cuts and he's like a rapper on the streets, like spitting outside the office. Hold on.
Colin, send me this. I've never known this. He kept this quiet.
It's one of my favorite.
He never told me he did this. That's funny.
Oh, he actually did. I forgot he did a side quest on it, revisiting Mass Effect 3 ending fiasco. Hold on, let's see here.
How did I miss this? That's so
nice. Here we go. It's a 2-minute 53-second video, and I just think it's so interesting seeing Colin in this different pocket. Like Colin's always had his takes, but seeing Colin like outside like this, like literally outside,
in the conscious opinion video. Oh man, I'm saving this for tonight. Ooh, let's
so
go.
Good. So good, bro. I just love that he's randomly outside in the middle of the video.
Yeah, in the middle. I like he's got the serpent there, but he got the waypoints in the back. Oh, I'm saving this. Good looking. I never knew about this.
I gotta ask Colin about this. I've always wanted to ask him how he concepted this video. Like what brought him to be like, let's go outside and like change the scene because I'm going to spit out here. I'm going to spit inside. Like what was the vision for Colin here?
Salute.
I love this video.
That's what's up. I'm on it.
So much.
I'm on it.
What else have you been playing?
Yeah, and of course the home cooking, which is it has its plugs to me, man, which is Destiny 2 Renegade. So I was on Summertime, and I think my new thing is, like I said, I try to understand why I gravitate towards something so strongly. What is it about? Now I know it's Bungie and it's gunplay, and I get that, right? And I get the skyboxes, and I put all this amount of hours in the game. I get that. The Star Wars thing really didn't. I thought it was a cool partnership.
Yeah.
But now that I've done the end game and I've done the Equilibrium dungeon, which is absolutely amazing stuff. This is really them taking a take on the dredging and making the dredging kind of like the Sith and stuff like that. And they did a good job of merging it. And the aesthetic is beautiful. The mechanics are great. But the thing about it, Matty, I figured it, and I had to, it's me talking to Brad to help me figure it out. I am a sucker for build crafting. And the thing about build crafting is if, like, for example, I'm a Warlock main, and, they have all these classes. You got your Void, you got your Solar, you got all this stuff, right? So they have an exotic now for the Strand class that pretty much allows you to suspend. When you put down a rift, you suspend enemies. When you suspend enemies, it heals you, right? And then it has this other gameplay loop with the other abilities, including the sword. So now I have this thing where I'm running around the map. I can teleport and get into this invincible state. And then when I see a cluster of enemies, unteleport, come to the enemies, put down the rift, string everybody up, right? And then take their health. And then I have this sword. But here's where it gets deep, where I've never had this in Destiny before. Remember, I just given Division its flowers in terms of gear sets, because Destiny, I feel, is too exotic weapon and exotic armor dependent. In order to do something dope, you have to have one of those two things. Finally, they have included gear sets in Destiny where you can have legendary armor, right? And legendary. So basically, if I wear boots and a chest, that'll make my sword exhaust the enemy, or that'll make my abilities recharge faster. And then I can have these other two where my shield gets depleted and then I'll get brief damage. You can now mix and match, where this is the biggest weakness of it. Like, armor never mattered. It just didn't. You just cared about what guns you got. You know what I'm saying? So now you got that. And then, bro, the builds that I'm coming up with on Stasis, on Arc, on Strand, they're insane. The weapons, I will admit, the blaster weapons are game changers. They are heat derivative. They don't use traditional ammo for the most part, but you have to pace your shots, but they're very powerful. The activities are great. So I ain't going front. Like, it got me again, you know what I'm saying? And I figured it out. It's the build crafting. It is really top notch on this top. So look, it's still going at. It's still my comfort food. I've noticed I've been putting in a lot of hours. I got to speak to E. I haven't told anybody. I was like, I've been putting in a lot of hours in conjunction with it. It's my go to bed game. It's like right before bed. Okay, I got most of my stuff done. But yeah, D2 Renegades, man. And apparently there's still some more content coming. We'll see. But yeah, it's pretty much it. So the same old. But I will say the Mass Effect run right now is taking up the most time, and it's probably my most fun in between all of this. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. So I see your list. Yeah, something on there.
Yeah, I'm playing Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. Coming back around to wrap this one up because I was on my Metal Gear Solid grind last year and wanted to come back, finish this one up. Still feeling the smaller games. I should have had this done, but like I mentioned last week during the episode, I was still writing a lot and managed to finish the entire outline for our game, which was definitely a huge win, huge weight off my shoulder. I mean, it took every hour I had that week. I mean, It was crazy grind, bro. I was telling Locke, because he's reading it over now, I was like, I learned a lot in that stretch, but I don't think I've tried anything more challenging on myself than that, which, forces you to grow. But I thought the time I gave myself, which was plenty, was more than enough. And I definitely underestimated, but I wanted to make sure I hit my deadline. You guys set the example, right? If you don't hit your deadline, who else is going to hit their deadline? But anyway, didn't get as much gaming time in. And then Monday was our first team meeting. So we had to get the ball rolling there. So only grind. Oh, bro. Yeah. Like not to glorify it, but yeah, completely on my end. So I'm only just coming out of it. And when you come out of that grind, your head has to get right a little bit. Like I can't just go right to the games, right? At least when it's a brain thing. Like when I'm writing a ton, I can't. So I've been reading a lot. So played Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake. I'm like 5 hours in now. And I want to wait till I finish the game to have a strong take. But right now my feeling is I love Metal Gear Solid 1. That's easily my favorite of the series so far. Metal Gear Solid 2 is also excellent. 3 is really good. I also think 3's opening is not great. I just there's iconic shots within it and things that I think that's Metal Gear Solid 3. I think of the music, Snake Eater. I think of the Halo jump. I think of the voice acting. But bro, I took notes.
Let me read this out. You got the notes.
So, because obviously I'm going to do a video on this, but spoiler. All right. Mm-hmm. In the opening, right? I define it as it only cares about your first playthrough. And I said, that's the blessing and the curse of it. Like, I've played Metal Gear Solid 3 before and beat it, and I really liked it. But then I went to replay it here because after playing MGS1, it just changes your whole understanding of the series. Like, Metal Gear Solid 3 is no longer just like prequel game. It's like much more than that. But what you get is the Halo jump sequence, which is a long cutscene. It's fine. It's the opening of the game. When you land, you get a historical video. So it starts painting the backdrop. After the historical video, you get a long codec sequence introducing like Major Tom, paramedic, the boss. You get up, you run to the next loading screen. There's another codec sequence. Then you clear out one enemy encampment, which small area takes about maybe 5 minutes. And then it's another 40 plus minutes of cutscenes, which I won't spoil what happens there in case anyone hasn't played it yet. But all of the storytelling here is like really good. But bro, this opening of the game, I looked at my play clock. I had almost 3 hours in the game before I touched the controller and played for more than like 5 minutes. And
wow.
I know we all know like Kojima's like a big movie guy. And so my biggest critique without spoiling is just that I think, at least for the intro, is that it retreads its own ground multiple times where it feels a bit redundant. Like after a certain point where the first mission doesn't go as you would have planned, there's another mission and you see that mission's kind of decided between two leaders talking. That gives you all the context you need. But then after that, you land once more and you get another codec sequence and it's like, here's the stakes of your mission, Snake. And I'm like, I know, I just saw that. So there's some redundancy in this intro. And at the same time, here's why I'm keeping it cool. Because Metal Gear Solid 2 is all about a game creating context in like reverse, basically. So it's about when you see everything, you're like, what's going on here? And then you beat it and you're like, that has a completely different meaning now, right? So I'm staying open-minded. I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm definitely more critical of this story, though, than any other story. And I had a similar feel to MGS2. Like MGS2's front half is like really slow. Doesn't really go anywhere interesting. Boss fights aren't that great. But that second half of that game, especially the climax, oh my God. So I know how Kojima can cook. But I also am excited to finish this one up, to kind of play MGS3 in the proper way, understanding it. I'm doing it through the remake. The boss fights have been great. The only one I wasn't crazy about is the Ocelot one. I thought that one wasn't good. So far, though, from everything I have played, he has not topped what he's done in MGS1. I mean, that game is fucking boss fights, setting, music, codec sequences, everything. Like one of my critiques is like, I love Mei Ling from the first game because she's just like sharing like Chinese philosophy every time you save. And it's basically her and Snake just thinking deeply. And for some people, it's like just a pseudo intellect talk, but I really like it. Some people they get taken out of it. They're like, why are you guys talking? Like you got a mission. I get that. But what really takes me out of it is like, I do a save sequence last night after beating a boss and paramedic's like, Snake, have you seen 007 from Russia with Love? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like this paramedic is literally Kojima. And so it's funny, but there's like, I like the codec sequences that are deep and thoughtful and just like prod at my brain in these interesting ways, which MGS3 does. Like it's a game about like your nationality. It's a game about patriotism. It's a game about like, are you loyal to your squad mate or to your country? What is the mission really? And I think playing that right now in a time with a lot of that going on is really interesting. So I'm getting to more of that stuff here. I'm about to fight the end for those who want to know where I'm at, which is iconic boss fight, awesome boss fight. So I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely having a good time. I can't say I'm loving it though. Like I love MGS1. I love MGS2. I'm liking MGS3. We'll see how I feel once it's all said and done though. But yeah, overall, good time. Definitely haven't done a lot of gaming though this week. So I'm looking to make up some time. Pardon me. This week as the team looks over the story outline, I got some extra hours in my day and whatnot, so that'll be fun. But that's what I'm playing this week, Cog.
I like it. I like the choices. We're in our throwback era.
Yes. Because I'm looking at what's next, and I'm thinking, I was talking to Jason because he was checking me. He was like, yeah, how'd that Deus Ex playthrough go? And I said, Jason, bro, I had the plan. We're following the plan. The only deviation I'm experiencing right now is, do I want to go and flirt with some Resident Evil before Requiem?
Requiem.
Or do I want to just go into Requiem as is? I'm still deciding that. As we're recording now, they haven't done it, but Capcom is doing a Resident Evil showcase. And so I kind of just want to see like how they frame it. Like, what game should I play? Should I just play the Leon game? So I want to see how they talk about it, and then I'll kind of go from there on. Do I want to do a Deus Ex dive, or do I want to finally start my Witcher playthrough, or do I want to what do I want to do here? So we're still feeling things out here, Cog. Let's get into the news, though.
Yes, sir.
The big one here, and it's funny, there's actually a timestamp that someone left in the comments of our last episode of how I talked about Jez's report of what to expect from Developer Direct, and I said, with our luck, we'll get the announcement of Developer Direct, and not even a fucking day later. There is Xbox saying, yo, Developer Direct time. All right, Cog, let's get into it. It's confirmed for January 22nd. And we get to watch Fable, Forza Horizon 6, and Beast of Reincarnation, where we get gameplay directly from the studios. What they've called Fable is a deep dive. They write, Playground Games welcomes players back to the fairy tale land of Albion with the first in-depth look at Fable, one of 2026's most anticipated titles. Devs from the Playground team will unveil the magic and mischief that awaits players in this fresh new beginning for the franchise, including a first look at some stunning new gameplay. Of course, the core themes of Fable will all be there. Cog, bro, when I saw this, right, huge choice
Duke.
Consequence.
They listen to Duke. Yes. I was like, oh my God, those are the first two. Yes.
Action, British humor. They haven't mentioned any town management stuff, but they said, of course, chickens will all be reimagined for existing players and new players alike. Forza Horizon 6, the Forza team from Playground Games will share a deep dive on the much anticipated Forza Horizon 6 as the open world racer will take players to the beautiful and contrasting landscapes of Japan. The segment will dive deep into the very first look at gameplay, including reveals of new features and how Japan comes to life in this stunning new installment. Game Freak will be here. Beast of Reincarnation. Join us as we delve deep into Game Freak's intense one-person, one-dog action RPG. For the first time, Game Freak will reveal details of our protagonist Emma's innovative plant manipulation actions and gameplay with her canine companion Ku. In Beast of Reincarnation, a profound and dangerous world unfolds in post-apocalyptic Japan. This is, again, January 22nd at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. There's some supporting information I want to throw in here, Cog, before we get into the meat of the conversation. First and foremost, insiders are talking naturally about what that fourth game will be. And right now, according to Video Game Chronicle, this is going to be a smaller game from a smaller scale original game from an Xbox studio, which lines up with what Jez was saying, which is that it's one of Xbox's more intrepid studios that wants to show off what they are baking, which Jez has since called a pretty heavy tease on that one. So think about developers who would make cooking things, and my money's on Double Fine personally. So we'll see what exactly that is. So there's that element to it. Then today, as we record, what leaks here but Forza Horizon 6's release date, which we had last heard thanks to Nate the Hate, was coming out in spring. And it looks like that's going to be the case here. It was a pop-up on Forza Horizon 5, which was picked up by XboxEra.com. And they said, according to the image, Forza Horizon 6 will launch on May 15th in early access with a May 19th release for the standard edition. They said it's worth mentioning at this time, we are unable to duplicate the pop-up in-game and neither of any colleagues across other outlets. While the release date timeframe aligns with what we previously heard with regards to Forza Horizon 6, we'll have to wait for official confirmation. They say, according to the image, users who buy the premium upgrade will receive the early access, which is 4 days early, VIP membership, welcome pack, car pass, time attack car pack, an Italian passion car pack, and 2 premium expansions that are both coming post-launch. Cog, we have the first write-in here. Is it a make or break for Fable? This comes from Daniel Ross. He says, hello, Daisy Dukes. Will the upcoming developer direct be the make or break moment for Fable and Playground Games? Much of it has been riding on Microsoft to finally deliver a truly great first-party title, and the impression that Playground makes here will be everything. Cog, is it make or break? What are we excited for during the developer direct? How are we feeling? And God, dude, never trust our predictions on developer direct. Fable's here. What the hell's going on?
What the hell, right? Yo, it wasn't on our bingo card. Our predictions were off. We thought they would save this for for the showcase. But super happy. When you read the Wire posters, how I read it on ILP with this say, I literally smiled and said, choice and consequence, British humor, check it. Like that to me, at least on paper, is understanding the assignment, right? That's what people want to see. Now, that's deeper nuances. Obviously, you're a Fable bro. Attic is a Fable bro. There's people, Brad, I found out. I will defer to you guys on the nuances, like the deeper nuances, right? And what you guys want. But for me, as a person who, not that I hate Fable, I just don't have that deep connection like everyone else does. So they have to appeal to me. I'm the target, you know what I'm saying, to see if you can get me. Now, granted, from the graphical fidelity standpoint, everything we saw up to this point looked outstanding. It just became, can we see a continuous cut of gameplay? How is it with the combat? How is it with the, with going in towns and talking? How much is the choice and consequence? Also, elephant in the room. Fable has always been known for female and male protagonists. Will they show a male protagonist? Because so far, obviously, the cover person, is her. So that's something. Again, if they don't have it, I'm personally not going to freak out. But it is curious because Fable games have had this, and this discussion I've had with Attic. I was curious about that, how felt about that as him being the Fable guy on the podcast. But this is huge for Playground. Like Playground has the opportunity here, if they show out, right, to really do something special as far as getting the anticipation up. Forza Horizon, I feel fairly confident in. This is what they do. Obviously, I'm just coming back from Road to Tokyo in Japan. This is the perfect setting for me to see. I can't wait. I literally can't. Like, I'm literally excited for Forza Horizon. But make no mistake, Fable is the show here. Yeah, it's up to them to deliver because this is them in that new space using the Forza tech. Attic gave me a nugget and said that there was a reason why they stuck with the engine, because there's some gameplay or a mechanic that is so, from what was told, is so amazing, is the reason why they stuck with that engine. So I'm like, what could it be? What could it be? Is it horseback? Right? Like, what the hell is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? That they felt like, no, fly, don't. Man. Hey, you want to throw the Ferrari Dragon in the air? You know what I'm saying? Hey. You know what I'm saying? It's something that they stuck with it. And again, the game looks so phenomenal, but I just need it now to play good. So deep dive, I'm hype. As far as the, I don't want to sleep on the Game Freak game because I am seeing a lot of people respond well to it, saying that, yeah, this is not them making, again, there's some aside, for those who listen to the summertime, it's going to be regurgitating some things I said that me and Brad were talking about, which is, in reference to them not being beholden to Nintendo and, old technology because, they don't have the greatest history with, according to Brad, with the Pokemon stuff, but, next gen and, a different IP, action RPG, this sounds pretty promising. I like that Shuhei's in front of it. Shuhei was tweeting this developer direct. He's like, get ready for the Game Freak joy. So clearly he's excited about something, which got me excited. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then now the fourth game, which is, if you want me to jump on that, which is, if it's Double Fine, wow, because we got Keeper, which, let's be honest, I didn't even get a chance to play Keeper. I'm kind of embarrassed myself. I didn't even get a chance to play it, but I was kind of like, all right, what that is now. We're not going to hear from them for another 4 or 5 years. That's how I looked at it. So I'm like, okay, what is this game? We're hearing different rumblings of different type of genres and stuff. We'll see. So Developer Direct is still my favorite show probably for the year. Obviously Showcase is my favorite, but I like starting off the year knowing that, this is what we're getting. This is the kind of thing. And the last thing, obviously, Xbox era with the leak, right? With the May. Hey, I ain't minding Forza at the top of the year. I kind of like that. Like that. So yeah, get that out there. That means it's ready. You hit that target. you get the most traction that you can on that game. And I think that's perfect. Now the question's going to be, which me and you discussed offline, where the hell does Fable fall?
Don't trust my prediction, man. Holy crap.
Don't trust mine either.
Because I see it now in Developer Direct. Is it coming sooner?
Yeah,
or is this like an indie moment where it's like, we're just showing you this so that, it's coming out later in the year? Like, I really don't know. It's been long enough in development and the delay was significant enough where I'm like, okay, like this could just be ready way sooner than we expect. But I imagine they want to throw like I don't know. My expectation was like, you want to throw a meaningful marketing campaign behind this. You want this to be the big summer showcase game. Mm-hmm. Are you going to double up on it? Did they notice something with Outer Worlds 2 where it had all that IGN first coverage and then it did Developer Direct and they like didn't get hurt by it? So I don't know. Right. Like I can only wager weird, fantastical guesses on like what the idea here is. Because in my head, I'm like, I think you want this to be massive. Like you need time to put it in front of people. There's also the opportunity of like, was the game kind of done and the time here was just spent porting it to PlayStation 5 so it could be as big as possible? So it was this big multi-plat thing, PC, Xbox, PlayStation. I don't know. Because that is currently a rumor is that, this will be day and date PS5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility, right? So maybe it's finished and you know what? Because we do know this. The way Eternalized is just reporting, they are literally calling Fable the fourth horseman. So they are putting it on the level of the Gears, Halo, you know what I'm saying? And Forza, like that's a big deal. Because not saying that Fable doesn't deserve it, but I like the way they're treating it in that type of a marketing,
they're thinking of it big, It has to be big. That's what led me to believe in the rumor if it's coming day one to PS5. I'm like, yeah, it makes sense because this thing has been in development. Like the rumors picked up about Playground doing this in 2017.
Right.
Like it got announced in 2020. So we're just throwing 6 years at it now, man. If you want to just use that as a window. Like this can't be like a Starfield even like, just like Xbox, PlayStation, somehow still not on, Xbox PC and still not on PlayStation.
Right.
Like, I think this thing, Xbox has to understand this needs to be massive. Like, they put so much time in this and they've been practically fucking begging Playground to show it off.
I mean, they have.
I just hope it delivers.
I hope that's what I think. I just hope it delivers. Like, to me, the port thing is irrelevant to me. Don't get me wrong. I would like this thing to succeed and be everywhere to get the most thing if it's an amazing game. I'm still of the mindset, I hope I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? But I'm of the mindset that they are still in an accidental exclusivity mode, which is, these studios are transitioning in the middle of the dev cycle to now include a port.
Yeah. I guess if Forza Horizon 6 is still in that accidental exclusive era, then why?
That's what makes me be like,
yeah.
But maybe, but there's still, I don't want to negate what you said though. Like, obviously the delay to polish and get this thing to be as best as it can be. But I could still see a scenario, where it's like, hey, we need this to be one of those. And maybe we do day and day. Because what was the last one? Outer Worlds was day and day, right? What was the last Xbox game? Outer Worlds, yeah. So we got that. We got some inconsistency because obviously something that was not. Obviously with Forza, it's not. But
Indie was only a couple of months, so it wasn't that big.
It wasn't that big. But look, all I'll say is, like you said, this needs to be good. I will say this. If Playground pulls this off this year with these two games, we got to have a conversation about who them dudes are. And I'm sitting here and I love you. Yeah. I love you. But this is the AAA diversity energy. There's a difference. Again, it's a big if. They got to pull this off. And there's a lot of questions with Fable. A lot.
Sure.
You know what I mean? We got to see. So I can't wait, man. Man.
Yeah.
I'm excited, man, just to see what it's going to be.
Yeah. It was like a please be good thing for me. Like, I was like,
please. I saw your tweet. He was like, please. Yeah. Same. I am.
Jake was saying the same thing too. He's like, I need this to be good. Like, I feel like we're all in the same pocket. It's like, this can't suck, bro. Like, I can't handle Fable being dragged into this fucking like culture war shit. Like, I can't handle Fable just showing up after all this time and being a shell of itself. Like,
fair.
I'm really hoping and praying that they just fucking nail it, dude, and just shut people up, because this is the one thing that this game has always had in its favor. is the slander started off at a place that was never well founded. I think when people were like, "Yeah, CG trailer," they're like, "No, it's gameplay actually." And like that was the moment of like, all right, pay attention because like they're cooking on something here. But for me, bro, if I'm listening out what I want to see, I mean, they've got it here. Choice consequence.
Yes.
I want to see combat in full. Like I want to see you walk up, draw the blade, not like what they do in all these trailers where it's like sword clash, cut. All right, get him cut. Like I want to see like draw the sword, fight, kill the enemy, fight ends. Like I want to see that. I want to see big thing. I want to see Cog. This will take me from like here to here. Social stuff, bro. I love in Fable 2 where you're like, just at the blacksmith and you're working away on these skills. I love that you can like fucking marry people. You could buy condoms. Like I want that crazy shit that to me, Fable otherwise is just a funny little fantasy game, but that crazy shit you can do is so good. And that was all found in Fable 2. For me, for those who are wondering, my favorite Fable game is the first one, just because not because it's like, oh, it dunks on the rest. Just the first one is so good in its choice and consequence. I don't expect this big open world game to do that, but Fable 1, bro, if anyone's not played Fable Lost Chapters and done an evil character playthrough, when I say you can fucking murk every character in this game, it's hilarious. Everyone can die. Like, when all these devs are like, yeah, you can kill most characters, but there's some essential ones. No one is safe in Fable Lost Chapters villain playthrough, bro. It's awesome. So I highly encourage you play that to just see Fable Anniversary, whichever version you want to play.
Fable run. You're gonna make me do it. I'm getting
Fable 2 though. Let me bring us back. Here's the other thing I'm hoping for, Cog. I'm asking for the world.
Let's go.
I want to see some biome diversity. One thing I love, we've seen in these trailers, it's always been like the sun's just setting, green hills and stuff. You know what I think of when I think of Fable, Cog?
What?
I think of the snow falling and the cobblestone streets of Fable 2. Yes. That's what I think of, bro. That is one of the most glorious openings to a video game ever. It's up there for me, like Fallout 3. Like it's up there. Like I love the opening of that game. That is a town, that is a setting that I can just sit in. So good. And I really hope they can reach those heights with the world, which I think they can, to be clear. I mean, that's one thing that we know that team is good at is like, I mean, you look at Forza and the Horizon series and like, they make great worlds. They look beautiful. They have biome diversity. Weather looks good. Like they have all that, but I'm really hoping we see that here too.
Yes,
if they just hit all those marks, man, I will be one happy camper, dude. I want this. When Xbox started to like gobble up all these RPG companies, like I remember saying like they got Bethesda, they got Obsidian, and they got Fable. Like they're a Western RPG factory. Some have gone as planned, some have surprised me pleasantly, some have disappointed me, but man, Fable has always been that one where I'm like, please nail it. Please nail it, bro.
What I'm hoping based on what you said is that because let's be honest, Fable is out there, and Fable could be dark, and you can have a wifey in every town. You can do all type of stuff. You can I just hope. This is my only concern. I'll put this out there. And I hope they quell this with me early. I hope you don't take any stances that we're not doing that in this game because of the climate of today. Like, you got to be, it got to go to, that's Fable. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm curious about protagonists. I'm curious about the choice and the consequence. These are questions because if they can answer that, and I know there's a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying? And not if they don't nail every single aspect of it, I'm going to be mad. But you got to get the majority of this stuff because that's the essence of what a game without caveat. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to be the one that we talk about, and it has this, and this. Like it's not it doesn't have this. I feel the expectation should be large. This should be one of Xbox's biggest games that they've done this generation. Like not just in scope and whatnot, but like popularity, quality. Like the fact that they've internally begged for multiple years to show this off and they've refused to, I hope means they've really got something special. I hope it's an indication of like something that's really going to knock us on our ass. I hope so. I'm with you. I'm done with it's definitely, they got a lot to prove. I'm in the camp of please be good, please be good. The only positive thing I will say is when I read the description, I always like to see how Xbox describes the game. I thought that was a solid start on how you describe what we're about to see. So I said, okay, you got the core tenets, choice and consequence. You know what I'm saying? We got the, drama, action, British humor, chicken, all that. That's a good start. Now we need the execution. And then the last thing, as far as I do want to say this, like, I want to see, that Mount Fuji in the back. I want to see temples. I want to see the street. As a person who just been there, I've been, the Haneda and all this stuff, like being driven around in is like Shinjuku. There's some iconic things that, like, Shinjuku crossing is an amazing sight to behold when you see people cross the street. Obviously, they got kind of people and stuff like that. But I just want to see some of these iconics. And then what you realize is when you go to Japan, like, bro, you think you're in New York, like, I'm in the biggest city in the world. You haven't seen nothing until you go to the Sky Tower. Shout out to all the LSM fam that met us there. That was there. Astro Power was there. Jimmy was there. A lot of LSM fam pulled up to the Sky Tower. When you go and you see the entire Tokyo and you see in the background Mount Fuji, like, bro, it is a spectacle. You be like, how is this? It's so huge. So that's what I'm looking for. And the last thing, I will press them. If they don't have this on the initial title, I won't go crazy. But you better give me Tokyo Street Racing expansion.
Yeah, dude, that's gotta be there at launch, bro. That's gotta be
there. I wouldn't like it at launch, but or at least you announced that you were like, you better give me that nighttime Tokyo. I want to see the bullet trains on the side. Am I racing a train this year? Because I just came from there, so I know. That's a good idea. This is the get out of jail free. We need the bag location for Horizon. Like, I want you to pull out all the stuff. So again, if Playground can knock out Fable and Horizon in the same year, this is a lot of pressure. This is very difficult.
Yeah,
I will revisit my conversation on who is the best game studio, because I've been fearing this in a good way. Like, if they pull this off, bro, there's a top dog in town that's coming on the AAA, because that's what the casual and the people want. The people want the AAA energy. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? And Fable is as close to a hashtag just one as it is, minus the fact that it's just an IP that it already exists. But if it wasn't called Fable, it was called something else, this is the game that I go, see, look how it looks. Look at all the things you can do. Yeah. That's what I want to see from Xbox. So again, the number one racer with potentially the number one hashtag just one kind of a game. Yeah, this is what I've always wanted. So I'm pulling for you, Playground. This is a lot of pressure. I'm just going in my bag. Please be good. We need some positive energy, please.
I'll be honest, I'm really here just for Fable.
Yes.
Forza Horizon 6, like, I think I'm interested, but like, if it's Forza Horizon 5 but in Japan, I don't know if I'm going to play it.
What about Beast though? You haven't said much about Beast of Reincarnation. Where are you at with this?
Any other studio and I would care. Game Freak is so fucking terrible. They're so fucking bad, bro.
The freaks come out.
Nope. This was the trailer they showed at the summer showcase last year that had like frame rate issues. And I'm like, yeah, it's a Game Freak game, bro. Their tech art department is fucking abysmal. I do not care about this game. I'm sorry. Shuei's got great taste. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad game, but like, bro, that is 1,000% wait and see. Okay, after that showcase, it could ball out. I'd be like, yeah, well, we'll see what the reviews look like. We'll see. Like, I'm sorry, skeptic all the way with this company.
They don't get that benefit. They do not. Pokemon points, the Pokemon Jason performances.
I've played enough Pokemon in the last 5 years just to like reassure myself Game Freak is not that dude. They've gone off and done their own. I remember being excited when Game Freak, I forgot what the hell they announced. It was like a town game or something like that. And people were like, yo, Game Freak's actually going out and like not doing a Pokemon game. They should be sick. That shit sucked. Like, they just they're not great. I don't know. So like, I don't look at this and go like, oh, I'm like, oh, it's right away. I'm like, oh, it's Game Freak. Like, dude, no. I would love to sit here and eat my words next week, and I'm sure it'll look fine because they're doing the deep dive. But like, I'm not gonna buy into any hype on them at all.
Right, so fair enough.
Whatever the fourth game is.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's your opinion on that?
We have right in.
Okay,
from Raisin. So Salutation Dukes developer direct returns 1 week from today. Games on the docket are Fable, Beast of Reincarnation, and Forza Horizon 6. Few simple questions. When did we think Horizon 6 is coming out? Do we believe Nate the Hate's spring release date rumor? Also, when do we think the PS5 version is coming out? Well, we already answered that, Raisin, but your other question here is any guesses on the surprise dev direct announcements? Peggy leaked that a new Life is Strange game is on the way. Maybe my girl Max and hopefully Chloe could show up. Looking forward to the Duke's thoughts. I assume defining Duke will be pushed back to accommodate the direct. To be correct. Will the Dukes be live streaming the event? Yes, for you as well.
Yes,
okay, good.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
As always, take care, boys. Thank you, Raisin.
Raisin.
I think there will probably be a 5th game even. Like I would go out on that. I think that was my original prediction. So we'll see if that comes true at least. But I said I think there will be a 5th game. I I could be wrong in as we record this 2 days time based on what Tom Henderson said. He was like, it's, he said Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake's coming out on the 16th. And I'm like, I don't believe that because I don't think Ubisoft is just going to straight up drop it. They have to have a platform to be like, it's here. Check it out. That we're all watching. I'm like, developer directs the 22nd. So I'm not, as of this moment in time, it'll already be out of date by the time y'all get your hands on the show. But I'm gonna, for Cog and I, this is our little pocket here.
Yes.
I'm not budging from my prediction. I was like, this has to be a developer direct game. As to that 4th game, I mean, small game from a first party studio. I feel like that's a Double Fine game, right? Like that fits the bill. Like I don't think it's like, oh, well, they own so many other studios like Activision and Bethesda, and could any of them been doing something? I'm like, maybe, but who makes little games out of everyone there? And I'm like, I feel Double Fine because especially wasn't Keeper like a whole separate team?
Yeah, it's all separate, like almost B team kind of in a way, right? Yeah.
So they show up here, but I think this is the right call because you're going to get some eyes on something smaller that otherwise probably wouldn't get that exposure, and you're going to keep most of the attention on Fable, which is the one that I think is the draw. That and Forza Horizon 6 are the draws. So
absolutely
everything surrounding is just kind of a little whatever, So I have high expectations for the things I do care about. I want to see Forza Horizon show out, but Fable's the one I'm like, this whole direct could be awful. You could have Phil flipping the double birds at me for like 15 minutes straight. But if Fable shows up and it's sick, I don't care, bro. Woo. I don't care. That's how much I care about Fable.
Yeah, if Fable shows out, it changes the trajectory of the show. It really does. So yeah, I'm with you. As far as the Razor's question, PS6, PS5, man, I don't know. I really don't. Yeah. This is uncharted territory. I thought for sure, obviously since we saw the sales numbers and stuff like that, I thought they would do everything in their power to try to race to have, a PS5 port available. Do you know how much money hand over fist they would make if they could land that at the launch? And the fact that they didn't, again, leads me to believe that, again, these studios are transitioning and not fully in position to be multi-platform studios yet. Yeah, they will be, but right now, no. So that's why I'm going to say it still may take it time. And they're doing 2 games at 1 year. It's a lot. I mean, maybe. I remember we had a write-in last year. Someone was like, yo, should I get the Series S? Should I whatever? I don't. We know now this date, which is May, right? Because remember, the write-in. So we got that. I don't know if you're a Forza bro, that's a wait. I don't know how you hold out if that's your game. That's like your number one joint. So again, let's say Fable is in the same situation and you're a Fable guy. Are you waiting? You know what I'm saying? It's tough, but maybe I'm wrong. The data shows otherwise. People will wait. Yeah. So let's see.
Let's get a last minute Fable prediction in. Release date. Release month, I should say.
I think I'm eating my words. I'm going to go that it's coming out earlier. There's a part of me that's like, this could have been at the showcase. If you're not doing it you could have literally gave us Forza Horizon, Game Freak's game, and call it a thing and made this the Horizon Direct. Even though that would annoy the hell out of Matty. You could have done the Horizon and been justified. And we'd be like, all right, we get it. You saving the heavy hitters for the showcase. Okay. Now that you're here, there's a part of me that, bro, and then they said an in-depth gameplay joint, and it's already been delayed. So now part of me is like, are you, let me not get too crazy, but
April.
I know, let me not get crazy. Is it going to come before Forza? Probably not. That would shock me. Now I'm going to get into the perfect pocket. What if you like that September game? But then where I'm conflicted is you showed it here. Are you going to show it again? And we just went through the overexposure of Outer World. All right, I'm changing my thoughts. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, it's tough. I know, right? It's like an impossible. That's why I say it'd be fun. Like we're probably both gonna be dead wrong, but like why not?
I'll be dead wrong. Look, new prediction. You out before the showcase?
Ooh.
You go to show
both in
Fable?
May. Can you imagine that? That'd be kind of sick.
Let me pull it back. When Hellblade 2 showed at the developer direct, Hellblade 2 did show again at the remember we first got the thing at Hellblade 2, and they did double show it. I just thought about it. No, they did.
They've done a couple of double shows. Yeah. Let
me calm down. New prediction, I'm gonna say for now, is like that September. Get it in front of everything. You know what I'm saying? And give it its thing. And maybe that's enough time. Because I think that'd be a sweet spot, bro. You could get it out that like September. What you gonna say?
No, I was gonna ask you on that note as well, just to add a fun wrinkle.
Yes.
Do you think they put the date on it during this show?
Ooh. Yo, you kind of got to. People have been waiting.
Yeah.
But this is Xbox. Let me calm down. Let me relax. This is Xbox.
Okay.
This is we don't know that what Grand Theft Auto's doing.
Yeah.
They could easily pull and leave us blue balled. Show it. It looks good. We're hype about it. And everybody go, yo, there wasn't no date though. This is Xbox. They can still pull that. Yeah. Forza, as we know, will get it. They will play a little game. Yeah. I agree. They ain't gonna commit. I will be shocked if they commit. That means they ready.
Yeah, you'd hope so. I mean,
I'd hope so. But we'll see. What's your prediction? What do you think now with all the new information?
See, I want to go the opposite way. Like that, I want to run because I'm just like, I don't want to set myself up for like the situation I'm strongly hoping will happen. Like in my perfect world, I'm like, bro, it's ready Q1. Like, let's like, we're coming in April or May as well. Like, we'll see you again soon. Like that sort of thing. Do I think that's actually what's going to happen? Probably not. But man, would that be one of the most pleasant? I can already tell you that will be one of the most pleasant surprises all year. If that thing's coming within the first half, even the first half would be a huge win.
First half would be a huge win.
If I'm like a betting man,
what's the bet?
I think when we last did this, I think I said, where did I put this one? I put something in December, and I think I put Clockwork in December, but Fable. I'm with you on September. I really like September for this game, right? You're leading the holiday charge. You know, if GTA is coming out, you're ahead of that. It's been long enough where I feel it can safely come out this a little bit earlier in the year. I do like September with the developer direct showing though, which, you've talked around all the points perfectly of like, yeah, it does mean that they can still show like this game and then pull an indie and be like, it's coming out in December, like the literal other end of the year. They just want to finally lay eyes on it. This might be to them like internally confidence building exercise. Like it's real, it's a game. We're going to show you more. I also wouldn't put it past Xbox to be like to emphasize their point to be like, hey, we're going to show you this again in full for 30 minutes. Because think of like Starfield, right? Starfield was one of the best directs we've seen. There was so much to explore. And as Gene has broke down perfectly, it also was a game that I think was shown off in the most fair way. Like we knew what it was. I think so many of us were thinking in our head, like, there has to be more. What's this or what that is that? Like the planets and whatnot. What's on the planets? But Bethesda answered everything. I think the reality is a lot of us weren't accepting that, myself included.
Right. Facts. I agree.
So I don't know. There's also a world where Fable is so big they show it off again. I'm dancing around though. I'm gonna go.
We're doing.
I'm gonna go with you, September. I like September a lot. It's in the like, people are spending. This is a big game. We've had significant delays. I'm gonna go with September. I think it's when it's coming out. Do they say it during this though?
That's the question.
I think they just give us the year. I just think because they've already
2026. That's the end of the plan. They can do that.
Bill already did that last year when they finished out the show. Like he named all of the big games coming out next year. He put Fable on that list, 2026. So I think they just kind of put that in ink as like, boom, see you this year. If they actually give us there's so many potential blow the roof off opportunities for this game and what we'll see with it. And also things like that date that I think could just surge it to another level. Like if it looks great, they're like, it's coming in May, or it looks great, it's coming in June. Man, that'd be amazing.
That's a conversation.
part of me in my head wants to say June if I'm thinking first half, but like I'm gonna go holiday marketing. I'm gonna go with a little bit of September here.
September,
see how that goes.
See how it goes. We can't wait. We almost did 1 week away.
Yeah, and on that note, we have a fun question here from Cody Brahman to round out this topic. He says, "Hey Dukes, Matt Booty recently said in an interview that Xbox has plenty of stuff we are shipping in 2026 and too much to show off in one direct. Yet this direct has the fewest announced games, 3 plus most likely a 4th secret game, and usually it's 4 announced games and a 5th secret game. Do you believe that there will be a second direct in maybe like March or any other time before the summer showcase? I bring this up based on Booty's statement. I also had thought even if Clockwork Revolution is ready to release this year, would you put it in the same direct as Fable? I also feel like the showcase direct has to be a Horseman or Elder Scrolls 6, which won't happen due to the 25th anniversary. If you also agree, what 3 games could be at a second direct and what would be at the showcase direct in that scenario? As always, hopefully we get to see a real ES6 teaser at the showcase because it's freaking time, Bethesda, and it's your 40th anniversary kind of day." Cog.
Bars.
I kind of like the whole idea of a second direct because this is a particular year where there's like a lot releasing. You and I have talked about it a million times from last year going to this year. We've already discussed it like twice privately and on the show of like, they have so much. Like, how are they going to, like, we do not envy the task of managing this all. Does this demand a second little direct before the big summer one or maybe after the summer one? Sometime this year, do you get another direct? Because my worry, and I think you're in the same boat, is you get to the summer showcase and there's so much to show off and all these games are fighting for your attention. And it's a good problem to have, of course. Yeah. But like, do you give them their little offshoot so that maybe they can miss the summer show? Do they want to miss the summer show? Do they have internal stats that say, if you're on our summer show, there's like usually this much that we get out of it, like the eyes, the wish list, the pre-orders, versus if you're on Developer Direct, this is what we get out of it. Like, I don't know. But I'm curious if you think a secret second Developer Direct could creep in.
My gut says no, but if there's any year that it could happen, it's this year because of the significance of the 25th anniversary of Xbox. And it's clear that is a marketing beat. I don't know if you've seen the iconography, if you've seen the imagery they've been promoting. So if they did something like that, I could see something like towards the second half of the year, and it's like, hey, remember, guys, this is the Xbox 25th anniversary, and you showcase the Horsemen again as they got closer to release. Obviously, Forza will have been out already by that point, but it's more of a reminder, hey, this is why you love Xbox. These are the titles. We're all here. Gears E-Day, Halo Campaign Evolve, Fable, the 400. And I could see that. It's just that historically, they've just packed their they've packed their showcases damn near 2 hours full of stuff. So there's part of me that's just like, I feel they will still do the same thing, and that they will instead, maybe you get you always get your third party publisher partner showcase. You get your indie, whatever. I think that'll be more of the thing. I think they just have a packed 2 hour almost type situation. And then the question is going to be, now that Fable is in the direct, who is the showcase game? That, to me, changes things.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think of that. Like, who takes that spot?
I think
Halo?
It's time for Marcus and Dom.
Oh, interesting.
Popping off. I've been looking at that Coalition account. They've been popping off. So to me, they want Gears to be where it needs to be. I don't think Halo, to do a developer direct on a remake of a game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I didn't even think of Gears, but yeah, you're probably right.
E-Day, bro. It's got to be E-Day because, and then if we put the tea leaves for, again, provided what Jez's predictions are true, that State of Decay, Clockwork, maybe 2027 games, which again, I am not mad at because I don't
Except
want...
for State of Decay.
Okay. If they drop State of Decay, we would be mad because we happy. We want to play it. But like,
I mean, more so like we gotta.
What the hell's going on?
What's going on?
Yeah, we're gonna see you.
All
okay,
right.
fair enough.
Yeah,
but with Clockwork, this is not the year to bury in exile. No, They've been waiting. Give them time. They are their own beast. We saw enough of that game to see that game look special. So if they need more time, you strategically move that thing away from everybody else and GTA, please. Like, I want that game. That is a standalone potential game to really invigorate the ecosystem, right? So stick with the theme of 25 anniversary, right? My new prediction, hey, Fable's here. It would be redundant to Fable deep dive developer direct. It would be. You're going to now Outer Worlds 2 your own game.
Yeah.
You had the excuse that IGN did it, and you know what I mean? Now Fable's here. You're controlling the Fable narrative. Let E-Day. We don't know what it is. So that's my prediction. Halo campaign is more of a, hey guys, remember us. You know, get out maybe 2 weeks before GTA. You know, we know what that is. You know what I'm saying? That's for, hey, PlayStation, check us out. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? But E-Day, this is a new era, and you've got a lot to prove too. You've got to show that this, hey, we saw the numbers from Linear. If the Linear analytics are to be believed, you can't be happy that Reloaded didn't do what you thought it was going to do. So you got to get people hyped for Gears again. I'm going with E-Day, man. I'm riding with that one.
I like that pick. Yeah, I like that pick a lot. The reason I do buy a little bit into the idea of this year being a potential second developer direct is I feel there's certain things that still require that additional, more special attention to give them that status, like bringing Halo. I know it's a remake, and I agree that it's not like a summer showcase type of item to put as like a special presentation, but this is Halo's debut on PlayStation. This has to mean something. Like, it's a major deal. It's the remake of an iconic first-person shooter that defined the Xbox. Like, I would be very disappointed if that did just feel like a little kind of, like little release, you know. Gears E-Day getting that special slot, though, I think is a good call. I think you're right on the money with that. But I do feel like there's things from Activision. This is a Bethesda 40th anniversary. Like, there's
I keep forgetting
so many. I mean, given this is an Xbox anniversary, every time we get these anniversaries coming around for that company, I remember the 20th anniversary. They were like, "Hey, here's a bunch of back and pack games. Remember these?" And so I remember that rumor was spinning up last year about like Xbox maybe looking into getting, not expanding that library of back and pack, but something along the lines of involving back and pack further, expanding where it's available or how you play it, that kind of thing. So there's also that element. So I feel like there's a lot of angles that they can pick at from just the stuff we know versus what we don't even know that they might have in the tuck. And so it feels like they could host the summer showcase on their own without getting any other third party involved is what I'm saying. So I could see the idea and the theory behind it. Will they actually do it? I don't know. There is also a degree of just showing off too much stuff in too little time. Like if you're doing, January, March, and then June, that's just, when you do that high volume of showcase, do you get a lot of people to show up? But it would be cool. And I think, like Cog said, if there's any year they do it, it could be this year. But interesting thought exercise, Cody. I appreciate the
I like that question.
Right now, just hoping Fable looks incredible. But we just got to wait a week to find out. We'll be around to talk about it. And that's all we've got for you when it comes to the main news this week. Cog, time to wrap it up.
Yeah, man.
Another show in the books.
Another good one in the books. A lot of stuff going on. Hopeful is the kind of thing I'm thinking about. What are you thinking about? What's your theme?
It feels like after a really shitty 2 years, like their destiny is in their hands. Like we've kind of accepted this is where Microsoft is at as a company. This is where Xbox is at as a company. It's not ideal, but like right now we just want great games, and they have a lot of appealing titles. And so I just hope that between that and the 25th anniversary, they remind us why we love Xbox. I feel like we could see some new hardware this year, given it's Bethesda's anniversary. I hope we see something like Elder Scrolls 6 a little bit this year. Like I think there's a lot of potential for Xbox to have some highlight reel worthy moments. And that's what I'm really just hoping for. I hope that when they show off that new Xbox, it makes me feel something. Right now, if they showed me a new Xbox piece of hardware, I wouldn't feel anything. And that's a shitty thing to say. Because I just want to care. I want to love. I want to be like, not tribalistic when I say it, but like, I want to be like, yes, I want that. But like right now, I'm just like, and I don't want to be like, I want to be like, yeah, there we go. Like, this is the this is the brand that fucking raised me and all the shit, like the games I love growing up. I want to feel that a little bit again. that it's not like an explanation to be like, oh, you play on Xbox? It's like, yeah, well,
An explanation.
Like I don't, I'll put it this way. Everyone knows that internal feeling when you're doing something whack because you feel the need to explain yourself, right? So when someone doesn't know me and like, what do you do for work? And I, go down the list. They're like, yeah, like work on a game, work on YouTube channels. Oh, nice. Like, I was like, yeah, we're on a podcast. It's called it's an Xbox podcast. It's funny. There was a time where like it gets into that rabbit hole every time. I feel compelled to explain myself. I'd like to get that element of my life out of the way. That's what I love.
Hilarious.
Give me the embarrassment, hilarious. Xbox. Come on.
Come on. A Met fan and an Xbox fan.
Perfect correlation, right? Like the head down, yeah, I'm a Mets fan. Hands on the hips. Fake laugh and everything, right? Yeah, I play Xbox.
It's so true though. It's a lot. Like saying it comes with a caveat. You gotta do explaining all the time.
What's your PSN? Oh, I got a gamer tag.
Well, I've been there for a long time, so
Yeah, my whole life is there. Like, come on.
You know what, Mario? Did you see, Colin, don't get mad. Did you see it was a Jet game and the Jets got blown the hell out, right? And leaving the stadium was a kid and he was in tears. And a reporter came up to him and was like, how do you feel? He was like, I hate this team. He's like, my dad, I grew up into this. I'm forced. It sucks to be a fan. Like, it just reminds me of that energy when you got to explain yourself as to why you like it and why you're here. You know what I'm saying? And we don't want that energy because it's like, bro, you got great games, right? So I'm with you, Matty. Like, it's like, please, man, if you can execute, please, if you can deliver it, give us hardware to be excited about or announce hardware to be excited about. That's all we want. We just want quality. You make quality games. Yeah, give me a vision. You know what I'm saying? We get the multi-plat now, even though you can ram them down our throats and did it all the most disrespectful, aggressive way. And I get out like, whatever, bro. You all right? You're rich now, and you don't coming back to the hood no more. Okay, cool. We get it. Could you please make some good games? And could you please, not that you didn't make good games at all, but could you please? I think you've always said it. It's that consistency without rake.
Yeah.
Please strew the I know it's not easy.
So tempting.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because if you can stream, because what happens with them is like immediate, they almost like budget, like do something amazing, an amazing expansion. And then the very next one, here come the rake. The very next thing you do. We never get even keel goodness for extended periods of time. The shoe will fall off at some point, and we go, there we go.
Like a good way to challenge the audience to think about it is this: think of every highlight for Xbox's generation, and then think if your brain doesn't go, and then I think immediately my brain went to 2021. I was like, oh yeah, like we have Psychonauts, we had Forza, we had Halo, and then. And Infinite kind of just why did you launch your multiplayer at the same time? And then 2022, right? It's like, oh, here's 2023, here's Hi-Fi Rush, here's Starfield, and then here's Redfall. 2024, dirt off our feet, here we go, and then multiplat. So it's like it's always something. So I want that consistent, nice, clean bill of health from Xbox. Man. Asking for a lot here.
It's a lot. This is a lot. And I'm not even going to lie. This is a lot. There's a lot of pressure with the four horsemen.
It's impossible with Satya because Satya has been outside a lot. Yeah. And this dude's getting fucking bullied on Twitter. I don't know if you've seen. But
I have seen. It's bad.
Beyond even microslop. Like, it's just this consistent bullying of this guy. He's like, he's talking about his AI data centers. He's like, we're learning how to be responsible neighbors and all this. Everyone's like, man, fuck you.
They going in.
It's like no remorse for this guy at all.
Did you see him? And did you see NVIDIA? They giving it to him too. He outside like, bro, stop. You guys with the dooming and glooming of this AI, and it's not constructive to like people are going in. They're not. This is for CEOs to have to speak out. Says a lot of how the public perception and pushback is. So again, the power of the human voice, and now you got the developers. How many articles now have we done in Duke where the developers like, hey, we want to jump out in front of this. We're not You know what I'm saying? And I think also the effect of, even though we did feel it was overreactionary and unfair because Expedition 33 explained itself, but when just the symbolism of removing an award for someone, right? I think that even though they may be, you know, Game Awards, they're not the New York Game Awards, but shout out to New York because I'll be there this weekend. But, you know, go check them out. There's super dope stuff in the community and for youth. But the thing that you have to admit, to read that headline, their award was pulled, the developer, you know what I mean? That reverberates, right? So I think we're in the era of the pushback and they see it. So in a way, that's good. You know, people need checks and balances. We need that. We can't just allow corporate greed to run amok and then there's no accountability, right? And people are legit fearful for losing jobs. So it's a crazy time, man. It's a crazy time. But back on point, Xbox, I'm going with hopeful, but what you want to go for? What you think about?
Let's do DD hopeful. Yeah, let's just inject a little optimism out there. See if we can just keep our heads high for a week, maybe 2 weeks straight. Yeah, you know, like good direct after this. See if we can make this streak, right? In the locker rooms, they always say it starts with one win. Just one win.
We're stringing together.
Just build, right? You're building that wall, right? It's okay. So
I'm with that.
DD hopeful. Ladies and gentlemen, you got this deep. First off, thank you. We appreciate you listening, spending some of your time with us in this morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, whenever you choose to listen to us. We appreciate you. You want to connect with us a little bit more, you can use the comments down below. Put the hashtag DDHopeful. Let us know you got to the end of the episode. Share some of your thoughts. Otherwise, you can tag us on Twitter. I'm at G27status. Cog is at Lord Cognito. Again, we'd love to hear from you wherever you are. So tag us, use the hashtag DDHopeful so we know what episode you're talking about. And with that, Cog, any final words, or should we round this one out completely?
It's another one in the books, man. Massive show. And then next week, I'm excited. I can't wait. We'll see where this thing lands.
We'll be back, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eye out for the Developer Direct, and we'll talk about everything from Fable to Beast of Reincarnation and Forza Horizon 6 and whatever else is showing up there. So, ladies and gentlemen, take great care of yourselves, and we'll be back for episode 264 of Defining Duke and Xbox Podcast. And until then, peace out.
Defining Duke, an Xbox Podcast, is a product and trademark of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC, and is recorded from the United States of America. The show is conceived by Matthew Mr. Matty Plays Schroeder and me, Colin Moriarty, and is written and produced by Matthew Schroeder. Matty's co-host is Barry Lord Cognito Eversley. Defining Duke's executive producer is Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. As you know, all of Last Stand Media's shows, including Defining Duke, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer support level on Patreon, and we're thankful for your kindness and generosity.